Welcome everyone to today's game of Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Egan, I'll be your dungeon master. And today we'll be playing some old school Dungeons and Dragons. It's for those who are not familiar, we're using Dungeons and Dragons basic expert set rules. They're Mold-based 1981 revision of the white box rules, original D&D pretty much. Um, we have our own house rules here, of course, which can be found in the reference channel if you guys need to reference them. But for the most part, we do have a more, based on what other players have said, it's a more medieval or realistic version of the BX rule set. So we got a more historically accurate economy system. It's like the main part. Let's see. So before we can begin, some of you will need characters and some of you will need to prepare your character. That's just Bit, a returning player. Bit will join in as Ali, the apprentice, first level thief. Cloudy and Reaper, we're about to roll your characters. So before you can join a game, you'll need a character, and then I'll teach you how to play right after, how we play it here.
Okay.
But welcome, and uh, this character of yours is not any kind of character in the world naturally. When we get together to play D&D, we go on adventures. Therefore, you're going to be an adventurer, a man seeking fame and fortune across the dangerous medieval land. Um, but there's different classes you can take on, different responsibilities and roles, sets of skills. First, we have to determine your abilities, which will reflect your character's capabilities, what they're good at, what they're not good at, and such. Versus strength. So we're just gonna start with rolling up Cloudy and then Reaper after.
Cool, sounds good.
Alright, so any score that you see that is 3 to 8 is considered below average. And 9 to 12 is average, and 13 to 18 is above average for men.
Yes, that's like a perfect average roll.
12, yeah. That is
Got it.
nearly above average.
Okay, let me just write all this down for myself.
hmm
So this is rolling for strength
Yep. Strength will help you in hand-to-hand combat and brawn.
and encumbrance.
Indeed.
I read that.
Yes. It's in good job. It's in reference.
Like,
Good job. Yeah.
yeah,
Doing some
like,
research.
like, little bit, little bit. Okay, 12.
Okay. The next ability we're going to roll for is your intelligence.
Okay.
10.
Okay, 10.
Right?
Right.
Then it's that's gonna help with your ability to learn quickly and how much knowledge you have. Alright.
Magic stuff too. Cool.
Now it's wisdom. 8.
8. Oh my god, we're getting worse and worse.
So that is your sensibility, your perception. Alright.
Pretty average Joe so far, not bad.
Next was dexterity, hand-eye
10.
coordination,
Super
reflexes.
average. Bad.
Alright. Then there's constitution. That is endurance, toughness, vitality.
Another 10. Nice.
Alright, the last was charisma. Leadership, morale, all that kind of stuff. Personality.
Low average, not super charismatic. That's okay.
Alright. And then Reaper's scores are next. Let's see what you get. Your strength is 11. Your intelligence is 10. Your wisdom is 8. Your dexterity is 8. Your constitution is 6. And your
Jeez.
charisma is 12.
Hey.
Alright.
We have a customer.
So, now you're going to choose your class, and I'm going to recommend you a class based on your ability scores. So there are 7 classes in original Dungeons & Dragons, 4 of which belong to the race of men, 3 of which belong to the demi-humans. The first 4 classes you can choose from are Cleric, Fighter, Magic User, and Thief, and then the demi-human classes include Dwarf, Elf, and Halfling. So between those 4 or 7 classes, you'll make a decision on which you would like. Each has a different set of responsibilities and roles and such, set of skills, but they all have one thing in common. They're all adventurers on a campaign for fame and fortune. This means they all hunt monsters, treasures, and bounties together, but they all bring a different set of skills to help in a particular field regarding adventures. So, first, before I recommend your class, do you have any questions or concerns? Okay, alright. So, Cloudy, your character is quite strong,
Yeah.
and he's pretty good at everything else except he's a little maybe shy, and he's not that attentive sometimes. So I do recommend that you stay away from the class Cleric, but any other
Why?
class is fine.
Okay. So why cleric over fighter here?
I recommend I do not recommend Cleric to you. That's the one I don't recommend.
Oh, you don't
Because
okay,
yeah,
good. I was about to say, okay,
hmm
okay. That makes a lot of
low
sense. Yeah, I
wisdom.
wasn't looking.
So
Yeah.
fighter would be a good choice since you're quite strong.
hmm what about halflings?
Halflings, they're half men, half fae. These are the rangers in the game, in our game. So they're require high constitution, at least a 9, and then they require a high strength and dexterity if they want to be good at their job. They're very good at
Oh,
fighting and using bow and arrows.
okay, so I do qualify for
You
that.
do. hmm
Interesting. Halfling sounds interesting.
Yep. The half men, halfling. So
Wait,
they live on the
I
borderlands.
do have one question about the elf because I'm looking at that.
Yes. Fighter
May
magic user pretty
hide and
much.
initiate as half. Okay, yeah, never mind. I don't really want to be elf. What
Okay.
about dwarf? Dwarf
Dwarves
sounds cool.
are very good at fighting and especially good at exploring the underground. They're miners, constructors. They're great at crafting.
Okay.
So if you like Dwarf Fortress, dwarves are really good at making strongholds and fighting, making armor and such.
Okay. I think I'll roll with the dwarf.
Good to go.
Okay.
Okay, you are a first level dwarf. Next is Reaper. Based on your scores, I highly recommend Fighter or Mage user to you, or even Elf.
Um, Probably a fighter.
Good to go. I'll explain your roles and responsibilities. Dwarves are one of the best at fighting and surviving expeditions. They have very good saving throws and a large number of skills. They can speak with various monsters that they were raised to grow up and learn to speak with because they are a great enemy to the dwarven peoples. You have left your dwarven homeland in search of a human way of life. In this case, you're seeking fame and fortune as an adventurer among the realm of men. So, as a dwarven adventurer, you'll be able to do what dwarves used to do, which is to take construction tricks and traps because you were so good at constructing great halls with your fellow dwarven brethren and such. And then you're also very good at fighting, and very good at fighting, particularly monsters from the underground. So dwarves are very good and handy to bring into dungeons, of course. Then there's gonna be the fighter class. This is the best fighting class in the game, naturally. Their main role is to use their fighting skill, which allows them to attack at twice the rate at level 1, 3 times the rate at level 5, and then 4 times the rate at level 10 in our game. But they're exceptionally skilled at fighting and will fight as if they're 2 men versus 1. Uh, so that's why they're so good at fighting, naturally. They'll be in charge of protecting the group and helping everyone survive. Let's see. Alright, so then with that said, those are your responsibilities to the crew. We're gonna roll your hit points now. The average man in old school D&D had 2 hit points. Hit points are a representation of how hard you can get hit before you die. The average man again has 2. The average fighter and dwarf actually have 4, and you get to roll a d8 to determine your hit points. So we're about to do that right now. Let's see. Okay, here's the 8-sided die. This first one is for Cloudy. You have a +0 bonus.
Oh,
3 hit points. Not
3 hit
bad.
points. 3 hit
Alright,
points. Okay.
for the fighter, you have a -1 penalty due to your low constitution. 2 -1. You have 1 hit point. There's room for
Same as
improvement,
me.
but this fighter's on a death. He's got a death wish perhaps.
He's a
or he's
glass
just a
cannon.
very frail young man who has not this great will to survive yet, not a lot of experience in the battlefield. All right. Let's see. Next is you will have to get your characters equipped with armor, weapons, and such. You'll get 36 worth of silver pieces. Alright, so Cloudy, you're receiving 100 coppers or 10 silver at the start for your equipment.
Ooh, okay.
And Reaper, you're receiving 14 silvers starting out. Do you have to first get you equipped with protective clothing? The dungeon is quite hazardous, full of mold and disease, and without basic protection, you will get sick and die pretty early on.
Okay.
Okay, next we'll have to get you, and that costs 1 silver from each of your coins. Next we'll have to get you some weapons. The first weapon recommended. Every adventurer is a monster hunter, so the primary weapon is a missile weapon. Highly recommend a sling if you want to save some money. Otherwise, there are more expensive and better options, including the shortbow, crossbow, and longbow. And finally, there's the arquebus, but that one is out of the price range at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, starting with the dwarf, Cloudy's dwarf, which missile weapon would you like? You can also opt for one, or you can also choose no missile weapon as well, but that is not recommended.
Not recommended. Okay. Hmm. Just taking a look at the menu here. So we got crossbows. There's slings. Hmm.
I'll post the list again in case Reaper wants to
Oh, I
see
see.
it
Oh yeah,
in the
he wants to
roleplay
see it.
channel.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Um. Hmm. Yeah, perhaps a sling. You never know when you're gonna need your copper pieces. So that'll be 1 silver piece.
Indeed. So you're down to 8, and then
Yeah.
I
Oh
didn't
wait.
will
Oh, so
recommend you.
we spent one for. We already spent one for clothing, right?
Indeed,
Okay, cool.
I will
So
recommend a melee weapon next.
yes, I was looking at melee weapons first, but I will look at it now. So there's the Warhammer. That's cool.
It is
Um.
quite good. It's got a spike and it's blunt damage.
Ooh.
Good against armor.
True. Nothing wrong with a dwarf with a Warhammer. Um. However, very expensive considering my budget right now. I have 30 left over. What else do I need to buy here?
You might want to get some armor and maybe some equipment, like a bag full of torches or something.
Okay. Well, in that case, hand axe would also be kind of cool to have. Um,
3 silvers, that's a pretty good price.
Pretty good price. I feel like it would do the job. It's just like a
Indeed.
like
You can
one-handed
use it in
battle
2 hands,
axe.
but it's sized for one hand.
Oh, and there is a whole ass battle axe. So if I just wanted to
Yep,
go
and if you
all
want
out.
the Dane axe, like a pull arm, it's also available for 10 silver.
Okay. If I had 10 silver, that'd be an option. Um, Got a dwarf with a little knife. That'd be kind of funny. Half sword, hand axe. Might just roll with the hand axe. It's appropriate and it's in the budget.
Good to go.
So hand axe. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So hand axe and crossbow. Or no,
Sling.
hand axe and sling. Hand axe and sling, yeah.
Indeed. You will have 5 silver left. Next we want to get you some armor perhaps. The cheapest form of armor is the gambeson, a cloth set of armor costing 2 silvers.
Okay.
Would you
See
like it?
here. Gambison.
There's also a
Mm,
shield, which is somewhat better than a gambeson, but it only protects your front flank. However, it's very good against missiles, and you can block with it, increasing the armor by double.
mm, mm. That's pretty good value in the long run. Yeah, I think I'll run with that shield. One more silver piece in exchange for pretty versatile protection. I'll take it.
Indeed. Alright, so now you're down to 2 silvers. With
Mhm.
this, I would recommend you get, if you want more armor, you could, but otherwise, equipment. First, you might get yourself a sack, the cheapest type of container to wear, and then you can get some supplies, like we might need some candles to see in the dark and a tinderbox.
Okay.
For now, you don't
S-
have to purchase everything by yourself, of course. You can just purchase some of the equipment and supplies, since you only have 2 silvers.
mhm. Then going forwards, we can figure that out. Okay. What does a key do?
It is for the
That's very
thief.
general.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a skeleton key for lockpicking.
Oh, okay. So it's just a quick. Is it a one-time use?
You can use it multiple times unless you break it.
Oh, how can you break it?
If there's a trap, or if you get your key stuck.
Ah. Ah. Okay. Wait. Okay. So that's kind of curious. So every time you put a key into a lock, is there a chance it breaks?
If there's a chance for a trap, yes.
Okay. 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 That makes sense. Cool. Um. Yeah. Sack is classy. A pouch, which costs the same as a sack, but just has less storage. Hmm, that's interesting.
Yep. The nice part
You
about
do have some.
the pouches is item on your belt, so easily accessible compared to a sack,
Okay. I see.
which you have to pull off your shoulder, then open up, and then pull an item out.
Okay. So I will have to have like a whole kind of action to take that off.
hmm
Okay. And what about a pot? Is that literally like a cooking pot?
Yes. Some
Yeah.
adventurers prefer to make stew. It saves it kind of slows down the consumption of the food supply.
Okay. Does it have any other? What's it made out of?
It's probably an old iron pot.
Oh, sturdy. Mm. Am I allowed to use it as a weapon sometimes?
You could. It's not very
Okay.
effective, but definitely could do so.
Okay. Well, I'll get a pot.
Very well.
I will get a pot, and I got one more silver piece, 10 more copper pieces.
The pot has been
Uh,
slung over your shoulder by a string, unless you
awesome.
buy a bag for it.
Okay. And what's a tool?
It is uh, any normal tool that you can imagine.
Oh, okay. So it can be anything.
Almost anything, yeah. Normal
Almost
tool,
any normal tool. Nothing like, oh, I just want my tool to be a battle axe.
yeah. So this is
Okay.
like a implement, like a pickaxe, or a spade,
Hmm.
or a wood axe.
Okay, let me see here. Hand axe, crossbow, shield, pot, and a wineskin. So is that just like a liquid holding container?
Indeed.
Okay. And that would also be somewhat useful.
Uh, yes, it can carry water. It can carry any kind of liquid potentially that you find. It's a protective container for it.
Okay. Is there any kind of liquid that it can't hold?
Uh, Maybe something that can destroy it.
Okay. I figured I'd ask just in case.
hmm Like acid or
Um,
lava would not
yeah, that's what I was
work.
thinking. I was like, oh, what if I put acid in it? But it could hold a poison.
Yeah, it could.
Hmm, interesting. Just gonna take another good look here.
In the meantime, let's get some stuff for Reaper then, if you're still gonna think about it. Your last silver piece.
Yeah, I'll think about this.
Okay.
Do you think I
Reaper,
should buy clothes and armor, my friend? Sorry.
it is your turn. You have 14 silver minus 1 from clothes, so 13. First, we have to get you a missile weapon. Which missile weapon would you like between the sling, short bow, longbow, or crossbow, or none?
Short bow.
Alright, good choice. And we'll get you a set of arrows, costing a total of 3 silvers.
All right.
Okay, so now you have the short bow and arrows that cost total of 4. You have 10 silver left. Alright, so now we'll have to get you a melee weapon. What do you think you want for melee?
Um, short sword.
Alright, it's kind of expensive. It's 5 silvers. Is that okay?
Yeah, that is right.
Alright, you've got
Um,
5 left.
um, probably the shield.
Good choice. Alright, 2 left. I recommend equipment supplies, but if you want more armor or weapons, that's fine too.
No, the I know I just saw it.
What was it?
I know I want the torch.
Good choice. You need that to see in the dark, but you also need a container to carry it. Um, Extra torches will be hanging on your belt and therefore can be exposed to the environment. So if you go into water, they will get soaked and yeah, that would not be good. All the containers are somewhat waterproof. They're all leather and are sealable. So if you have a
The
yeah,
pouch.
the pouch is too small to carry the torches. Each
Oh,
torch is 3 pounds. A pouch carries a maximum of
um,
yeah.
15
the
pounds.
sack.
The sack carries 20 pounds of gear, so most of your torches can fit in there. The rest of them will be hanging on your belt, easily accessible, right? So you could just take off your belt and light it up. But you need a tinderbox, so someone on the crew should buy a tinderbox. Otherwise, you'll have to create a bonfire to light your
I was
torches.
just looking at getting a tinderbox.
With a
Can a tinder
tinderbox, yeah, you can start fires within seconds.
does it have like a limit? Like, is there eventually a point where I cannot use the tinderbox?
Uh, it's really rare. If you use it
Okay.
excessively, then it might someday break. But it should last an entire campaign.
Okay. Well, then I will get a tinderbox, my last silver piece,
Very good.
and then we're covered as adventurers for tinderbox.
All right, sounds good. Good to go. Tinderbox hanging on your belt. So probably a small box with a string. Let's see. All right, Reaper, you're last to pick your gear. You're picking out that torches. You've got the sack too. Is that fine?
Yep.
All right. So the torches, about 6 of them are in the sack, filling the sack fully. You can seal it, therefore they cannot get wet. And then the other ones, of course, are just you're gonna string them up and have them hang on your belt.
All right.
Okay. The final step to creating your character is to choose a name, and then you're done. You can see how easy it is to make a old school character. Again, all you did was roll ability scores, choose a class, roll hit points, grab gear, roll money, and choose a name. That's 6 steps, right? So, um, the last step is to choose a name. Indeed.
Okay. I think I will name my. Let me give it a quick thought.
And it should be a medieval name, naturally. This is a medieval fantasy adventure role playing game, after all.
Well, I got it like okay. So the way I think of like dwarf names, they got like really funny last names that are literally like just pertaining to kind of what they do or just what their family does. Like you get like you'll probably get like some people like named like Rockbreaker, like something like
Could be
I
like
don't know
a nickname.
Thorlin Rockbreaker or fucking
Fucking.
Thor Oakenshield from The Hobbit. Uh,
You'll just need the
but I kind
first
of
name
want
to
like.
start.
Well, I'm gonna. I don't know. I feel like I feel obliged. Being a dwarf, you know, he's a dwarf. Come from dwarf people. I kind of want to name something pertaining to like. Oh, let me just think about it for a moment, because I have an idea.
Alright, I have some ideas for you if you want as well, and also an old school name generator. Reaper, do you know what you want your fighter to be called?
I do not.
Okay, let me help you if you want.
All right.
Alright
Shoot.
then, let's see. We have the Blue Holmes name generator if you want an old school sounding name. We'll have the Meat Shields name generator if you want that. And finally we have the historically accurate medieval name generator from behind the names if you want that.
Oh, the medieval generator sounds good.
Okay, let's see what you get. Alright, your name is going to be Vordale or Wardell. It's Wardell. It means watch hill or watcher on the hill. And it's an English name, so you'll be an Englishman named Wardell. That is a good name for a fighter. A name is very important because it's the first title to your story.
Okay, I got one.
It's how people will typically remember your character by.
I've
Alright,
thought of a good one that pertains to me, I think.
very well.
His name, the dwarf, is Grenlad Kegforge.
Alright. Grenlad, how do you spell it?
Grenlad.
Good to go.
Cool.
And your
And
surname,
then,
you can choose to keep it if you want, but typically how we do it here is your player name is the house of all your characters. They belong to the same clan. So you will retire some, give some a break, and start another character. You can only play one at a time, but your
okay, that's
player
kind of
name
cool. I like
is,
that.
yeah, so any character you play is of House Cloudy, or the Cloudy clan, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay. Well, actually, in that case, hold on. Okay, I didn't know it was gonna pertain to my name. That's interesting. Um,
And anyone that's played by Cloudy naturally is somewhat similar because naturally they're played by the same player. They have the same
okay,
kind of
then hold
knowledge.
on. Let me quickly, because I just thought of a much better name. Okay, so then in that case, change my player name to Loud, but spelt like how it originally was, Leod.
Hmm.
And then we'll do the House of Loud. And I'll just change his whole name to Gren Loud. It's like one word. Like Loud's just kind of like a thing you throw into the name.
Wait, did you want to see with it or no?
No C, no, Gren Loud.
Okay, so from here on forth, for the remainder of this entire campaign, which has continued since 2013 pretty much, you'll be known here as Loud, and your player character is known as Gren of House Loud.
Yeah, but it's all one name. Like it's
Yep,
not like no
Gren Loud.
no surname. Yeah, Gren Loud. Instead of Gren Lad, Gren Loud.
Okay, so you're just Gren.
No, it's Gren
Your
Loud. It's I don't know. I'm kind of bending the rules a little bit, but
but your surname or your first name is Gren.
not a first name. It's just one name. He just belongs to the Louds per se. Like the first founding member is Loud, Loud of Loud, and this is Gren Loud of Loud. And
Okay,
whoever I
so
make
he's
next, they'll
Gren
be
Loud,
like,
and your surname is Loud, so it's Gren Loud Loud. Yes, Gren Loud of
yeah,
House Loud. All right, good to go.
yeah, Gren Loud of Loud, Gren Loud of Loud.
Good to go. Yeah.
And
All right.
yep,
So
that is
then
me.
he's Grenloud, and we have Wardell, and we have, of course, returning characters, Ali, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let me get Ali ready for the adventure. The new characters are
Um.
here. It's time for your prep. Did you need to purchase anything before we set out?
I mean, yes, I need to just check on the weight stuff because I'm almost at 48 pounds.
Okay. And you,
Uh,
what was the thing you purchased earlier today? It was a club.
yes, I'm
All
at
right.
like a 39 lead. I don't know, like LD, I guess.
You're at 7 load, I meant 7 silver, and your current encumbrance is, let's see, 10, 20, 22, 23, 24, 34. Uh, let's see, 34, 37. You're considered to be lightly encumbered, which is very good. You're a
Oh,
light
okay,
footman.
37. Okay, so I have like 16 arrows, a short bow. Okay, good. Yeah, then I'm gonna buy like, if I buy like a key and a 10-foot pole.
Very good choice. A thief really needs that to do their job.
Yep, a key and a 10-foot pole. Would that be okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I guess it's 2 minus the pole.
You're down to 4 silvers.
Yes. Also, can I also, because can I get a hireling, a combatant?
Yes, we can spend some time hiring men if you guys think you need some extra help, which I do highly recommend since we have a small party today. So we're gonna need
Yes.
to
Can I
invite some
hire?
NPCs.
Can I get 2 human combatants for so I can, that?
For sure. Alright. Um,
Alright, thank you.
we'll have to find some in the village to hire. You'll have to make them some offers and get them to trust you so that they might join you on the campaign. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see, but there's first Leod. Let me change his name. What's this? Leod, which is Grand Leod. The first one was Dwarf. So you'll get to hire retainers in the first hour of your game. Hopefully it don't take too long, so we can get the adventure going soon. Reaper, you'll join us again as Vordale, first level fighter. Okay. So, before we begin, because prep is done, you guys will get a 5 minute break to grab your food and drinks or use the bathroom. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right. Now we'll go for a smoke.
And I am at 0 silvers. Wonderful.
Alright. Hello? Hello? Alright. Gentlemen, we shall begin.
Yes. Hey, Dion.
Yes, sir.
Some question.
Yo, are you guys playing RuneScape?
We are playing old school Dungeons and Dragons.
Uh,
All right. Um,
Did
just
you
for
want to join
reference.
us in Moya?
just for reference, what?
Uh, what's your question? Alright, the extra slot is actually only open for one other player, which was Will.
Swear.
So, but if you would like to join us, we can roll up a character real quick for you. You will not have a lot of time to prepare though. Did you want to play?
I bet it's just. Are you guys playing fucking? Oh yeah, are you guys playing like D&D or something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Can I join?
Yes, I was asking you. Can you hear us?
I just want to go like rogue or whatever.
Alright. We'll get your character roll up real quick. I'll grab you some equipment. We don't have a lot of time because we're already done prepping.
No, the
So
rogue human.
this is old school D&D, so you'll get to roll up your abilities real quick. 13 strength. Let's see. You have
Okay,
an
I'm
intelligence of
back.
12. You have a wisdom of 9.
Yo, I'm a little kitten, strong and free,
Let's see. Let me
but I
make
don't
an
have
extra
HIV.
opening in case Will joins us. I'm gonna roll one extra character for Will in case he does. Just one that's real quick so you can just pop in. Let's see.
Oh, who's the new friend?
Oh, did he already leave?
Um.
He just
Yep.
left.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna close it.
Interesting.
Alright.
Mhm.
I'm back. I got my veggies. I got my sandwich.
Awesome. Good to
Hey.
go.
Yeah.
So, welcome to this game. I will now be introducing you to the adventure. But the three of you have grown up from the village of Gavelon. It is a village on the southern frontier of the kingdom of Bretonia. This is a medieval land filled with monsters and magic. You are among a brave class of the human society known as adventurers. And it is here, from the village of Gavelon, that you begin your campaign for fame and fortune across a dangerous wilderness to the south. South of Gavelon, there have been uh, rumors of an ongoing threat that approaches the borderlands every year. But fortunately, adventurers continue to venture out and fight them off and keep them from getting any closer. Last year or 2 years ago was the most riskiest of the many years that have passed. The farmlands were indeed attacked by monsters, and the adventurers heeded the call harder than ever and had campaigned southward to a ruin known as the castle ruin of Zivolta. It is there they began to delve into a deep dungeon, and they cleared out a level or two, or level and a half, and from there they were able to begin to ensure the safety of the settlers on the southern borderlands of Fredonia and Gavelon, of course. So all is pretty peaceful here in the campaign world as of this year. You're just a new lot about to join in on the campaign for Fame and Fortune, and you might seek your fame and fortune in the same place that many adventurers have in the past. You might visit the castle ruins to the south as well, or you might take on new calls for adventure. There's a famous legendary location to some extent, far to the east, but the adventurers are beginning or preparing expeditions for this place. Uh, Many adventurers are campaigning or beginning a campaign for the ruins of there's a the ruins of the mega dungeon beneath the great castle Dyson. It's a great castle ruin that's so long crumbled to just old bricks and shattered walls and such. But beneath these ruins, there's indeed a great depth to explore. So, if you are brave enough, you can go out there. Those who are brave enough have been allotted some additional funds if they are hope to seek their fortune eastward and begin colonizing the eastern wilderness, right, or reclaiming it, taking it from the monsters and the dragons and such that guard it. So if you do seek to reclaim the great castle Dyson, begin to clear its dungeons and its depths, the village actually promises bare minimum of 30 silver to anyone uh, who plans to take on the task. And you will be adventuring in the name of the village of Gevlon. You will represent them as basically like an expeditionary or as an expedition of Gevlon, right? An expedition team. So you'll represent them, and whatever profits you make, you should, of course, keep for yourself. But of course, come and spend it and be an ally to the village of Gevlon, right? So don't spend in the other villages. Help build Gevlon and make that ruin safe so that they might take it someday. Make it part of the kingdom of Bretonnia. So, but this is direct orders from the kingdom, right? So any adventurers, any brave men who want to go on campaign will receive a minimum of 30 silvers before they set out. That way they can properly equip themselves with the armor and weapons and supplies they will need for such a long and treacherous journey. That is something you can take on if you're interested. If you want to stay more local, keep to the ruins of Volta to the south. So those are two options for you so far, and the last option is up to you. You can of course explore the village looking for other quests or work or to be done. Low risk though, low reward. Or sometimes there will be high risk for low reward. So make sure you know what kind of risk you're taking on. Dungeons are always high risk, high reward typically. Sometimes they can even be low risk, high reward, depending on how you approach. But it is understood that dungeons in the world of Dungeons and Dragons are the most profitable places to campaign, naturally. So today, or tonight actually, the three of you, young men, beginning your campaign, find themselves in the local tavern here in the village of Gevlon. This is a medieval settlement surrounded by a large stretch of wooden walls. But here this night, in the peaceful and calming streets of this frontier settlement, you find yourself in a rustic tavern. It's a food and drink establishment with it's known mainly for their duck and chicken and turkey, but it's called the Beheaded Swan Inn, and those lucky enough get to actually feast on the festive, the most prized meal of the tavern every year. They're highly reputable for making a good swan dish, right? Uh, Despite swan not being the most tastiest of birds, they know how to cook it. So, uh, tonight you seat yourselves around the table. Whether you want to buy drinks or not, it's up to you. But this is the place that the three of you decided to meet prior to setting out. Two of you are brand new. This is the dwarven veteran Grenload, Grenloud. You're not exactly fresh at the farm. You have got some training and skill, but you're still inexperienced. You haven't been on any adventures yet. And same with Vardel, the veteran. Back from his first military campaign as perhaps a levy or something. He's a freeman now, and he's serving or he's doing what he does best, fighting, right? As an adventurer now, though. And then of course the returning adventurer is Ali, the apprentice. He's been on an adventure or two, and he's met with the two green shoes or greenhorns, right, rookies, has decided to join up with them, right? Perhaps he'll show them how it's done for thieves, right? Thieves are not the most trustworthy of adventurers, but they're highly required. Okay, so between the three of you, you guys tonight will actually decide on what you actually want to do this week. You can discuss it,
Interesting.
or you can take your votes right away.
Oh
I
wait,
do
so
strongly suggest that we stay away from the castle. And speaking from experience.
speaking from experience, you've been to the castle before?
Yes, a lot of skeletons, very dangerous. They're also surprisingly fast.
Fast too.
And there's a way to mess with them, but I do not know how to do that properly. So I suggest that we go for something easy.
Well,
And
I have yet to encounter any serious threats myself. I'm used to mining and sorts. I'm used
mm,
to I haven't really been on I'm looking for something new, you know? Something to put my young dwarven body to use.
What do you recommend us? What direction do you recommend then, if not the castle?
well, maybe you can seek a smaller dungeon, something very simple and basic.
Hmm.
You know, low risk, low reward, but at the end of the day, we will still get a reward.
I see. Do
A
you know
few
of
nearby
any?
miners actually interrupt you. They're sitting at another table and they're like, "Excuse us. Well, I happen to hear that you we might be looking for something closer by. It appears your adventures, and I happen to hear that or see that one of you is a dwarf. Perhaps we can
I,
make you a recommendation."
of course, you
Mhm.
understand where I come from. I know where you come from.
Well,
What?
given your party's expertise, you you do seem a bit under-equipped, but just because you have an expert miner among your ranks, I would recommend you visit the old mine nearby. We used to work there as miners, but we had to close it down ever since we began to encounter monsters down there. Perhaps you guys could clear
Monsters.
it out for us.
What
Monsters, you
kind of
say?
monsters?
They nod. We'll even pay for each head you bring back.
Each head, how
Alright.
much? How much are you paying us?
I mean, I suppose it varies on what kind of monster, but if you want a price range, I would say the monsters we encounter down there, we believe them to be these grotesque men known as goblins. We're willing to pay 5 silver a head. That's about 5 weeks of pay right there.
Can I quickly take a moment to ask, which one of you guys has the best charisma?
Um,
-1.
I've got a 12.
You got a 12? Yeah,
Yeah,
listen, Wardell, listen. We gotta negotiate with these guys a little bit. 5 per? I think we can probably rack that up maybe just a little bit.
I'll look over at the miners and ask them, what about 7 per
7 silvers. Hmm.
Yes.
Well, we're offering the best price we can at the moment, but perhaps we can tell you that the goblins we believe have a chieftain, and we're willing to pay way more for the chieftain's head than the regular goblin's head. He's a bigger, nastier goblin than the rest.
I'll look over with the others and ask them what they think.
I look at the miners. How much for the chieftain?
Alright, this is the best price we can offer. Please understand that we haven't been able to make a lot of money ever since the mines closed down. We've been mining in salt mines and such instead of the old copper mine, which made us the great monies. But for the chieftain, we're willing to offer you 35 silver pieces. Best price ever we can offer. For just a single head, you can get 7 times the price of a normal goblin head.
I look back. I look back at my allies here. You know what? I know mines. Trust me. And I know they're probably shafted at the moment. So I feel we should just take this on. I want to get my boots wet. If it's with goblin blood, so be it.
And do note, goblins are actually one of the most, are actually one of the greatest enemies of the dwarves. Dwarves have great hatred for goblins, and
And
therefore
I
you actually
fucking hate
understand their
those
language.
goblins. Oh, that's actually huge. That's a huge perk to have.
So you
Okay.
can know what
Oh,
they're saying, and maybe you can even trick them or negotiate with them.
interesting. And having a decent charisma and a thief on my side here, this ain't too bad. Okay. Well, I have a lot of sympathy for these miners. I can't lie. We'll do it.
I agree. Let us head that way.
It is much appreciated. Whatever works you can do down there, we would appreciate it greatly and dearly. And you'll be paid fully in silver pieces. They shake your hand. We understand that the task may not be done or finished in one single adventure, but over the course of the weeks, as you continue to campaign in our old mine, we'll continue to pay you. Come back a few adventures with your heads, and we'll have money waiting for you. Until the day
Aye.
that the mines are once again clear and safe to work in.
Aye. You need not wait too long. We'll get you back to work in no time, lads.
They draw up a map for you, and it looks like the mines are to the southwest in the forested hills, about 3 miles, 1 league out. Not even a day's journey.
Ooh, nice.
So you should be there within a few hours if you set out tomorrow morning. It is late tonight though. You've been at the tavern all evening. The miners will be leaving soon. They've already had their dinner and their drinks. Your lot haven't had anything to eat yet. You're pretty hungry. Do any of you have any spare silvers for perhaps food and drink? If you want to
Mm,
have a meal at the tavern,
I already spent all my gold on like equipment and also hiring people to aid us in the for adventure.
indeed, you're at 4 silver, right? You haven't hired anyone yet, so we'll have to hire them now. We
Mm,
have to spend the time to find someone to hire. Normal men are
mm,
quite easy to find, so if you want, you can look around the tavern for any normal men that might be interested.
I'm looking for combatants.
Combatants are
That
uncommon, but they should be available. You want to look around?
Wait, what race was what
yeah,
race are the
sure.
miners?
Anyone who's not a demi-human is a man.
Yep.
Okay.
This
And
is a human
humans are
settlement.
mixed.
Should we hire one of the miners?
I mean, if they could fight, they could have, you know, fought for themselves, I guess.
True, but they know the mines, right?
Fair enough. Can I approach some of the dwarves and ask them if they know anyone who among them who can fight?
Dwarves? You don't see any dwarves except Grenload in the tavern. Or Grenloud.
Mm. They also what else? Can I wait until the morning and like try to catch one of them? And come the other one like a wage for the for anyone, perhaps.
Catch who in the morning?
I would say. I assume that the dwarf went to sleep in the same tavern, right? Or at least nearby.
Oh, the
The
miners,
miners?
yeah.
The miners were not dwarves. They were just miners, men.
Okay, my
We
bad,
go
my bad.
mining. Yeah.
Would there be any guilds around here?
Uh, yes. There's a small merchants guild in the marketplace you can visit.
Yes, I go to the small merchants guild and I ask them if they know any mercenary, not mercenary, hirelings or anyone like that who can fight, demi-human or not.
Okay. So then you're gonna go there this evening, or do you want to go tomorrow morning? The markets are probably closed. It's nighttime.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the morning.
All right. And are we going together or do you guys want to split up? It's not recommended to split up though.
Yeah.
I have
Probably
nothing.
all go together.
I'm just here. I'm here
Mm.
for the journey, so we'll go
Right.
in lieu of him.
So tomorrow morning, the plan is you're gonna follow Ali to the market in search of merchants, a part of the Merchants Guild, to talk with. A guild is an organization. It's not really a physical object or thing,
Hmm.
unless there's a guild hall. But there's no guild hall in the village. A meeting place for the merchants to meet up. That would be in the towns, large settlements.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty fucking tuckered out, man. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get some sleep, I think.
Mm.
Okay, so soon the rest of you are finishing your talk, and you can leave the tavern, make your way out to the countryside where you can get some rest under the stars with a warm fire. You can
I guess
stay
we
at
don't
the
have
inn, but it
plans.
costs money to stay at the inn actually. So, and you don't have a house yet in this village to sleep at.
I
Is there
suppose
any
we
other
can.
place you would like to sleep tonight other than outside? Outside is fine. It's free.
It's free. Is there any danger to sleeping outside?
You'll be on the outskirts, and the outskirts are pretty safe. There might be some strange farm animals sometimes, but that's about it. You have each other to protect, you know, each other.
Is there any nearby farms?
hmm The village is beyond the wooden walls. It's surrounded by farmland and countryside, and then beyond that becomes the wilderness. Farmlands are typically surrounded by old wooden fence, so they're more protected. They're more protected versus, or as in compared to the countryside that surrounds the settlement. But the countryside is just like open fields and such, tall wild grassland that's been cleared of trees, ready for settling, of course, but not yet settled. Um, but if you camp in the farmlands, you might get in trouble naturally. Farmers might drive you off their property.
Hmm. Hmm. What do you guys reckon?
Countryside is free, free game.
Free
Find
will
a good
safe.
place in the countryside and make a small fire for the night. Call it a night. Head out in the morning.
All right, good to go. It is the early June, by the way, early summer.
It's early summer, so it's not terribly
It's
cold
warm.
out.
It's a little chilly maybe, but it's warm enough to sleep outside without feeling discomfort.
Okay. Bids,
A
did you
nice
have
warm
any other
fire.
ideas?
What
Hmm?
was it?
Did you have? Oh, I was just asking. I guess Ali. Did you have any other ideas?
No, no. I was want to sleep outside.
All right.
Yeah, with you guys.
And for food, what would you guys like to eat this evening? Did you guys want to get a meal at the tavern? You have 4 silver left, and a meal at a tavern um cost like a normal meal cost one copper for a normal meal. Uh, yeah,
1 copper.
indeed, that's
I
one
asked
meal.
my companions, do you have any food for any risks and stuff like that?
Uh, well, I
No
got a
one here
pot.
has any rations yet.
I have a pot, but I have not a scrap, not a crumb.
Can I spend the 1 silver and buy like different
Normal food.
meals? Not normal would.
So meals are expensive, by the way. It's one copper. One copper
Yes.
can also buy 3 pounds of fresh produce, which can be turned into 3 meals, right? If you cook it yourself. And a meal is 1 pound of food, but it's cooked and tastes good, of course. It's at the tavern. It's one meal, naturally. So one dish is 1 pound of food for 1 copper, though.
My question is, how long does that food last?
The meal, it lasts for one sitting, right? It's one meal. You eat 3 meals a day:
No,
breakfast,
I'm
lunch,
talking
and
about
dinner.
the fresh produce. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Would it go bad?
the meal or the food?
Or
The food, the fresh
The
produce.
fresh produce, it goes bad after a few days. Yeah.
Mm.
Then there's
How
rations,
much?
iron rations like preserved salted meats and food. Basically will
Yeah, how
last
much?
forever, right?
How much is that food, by the way?
That food is more expensive. It is about, let's see, let me check. Rations. So 30 pounds of rations, which is 10 pounds or 10 days of food for one person, or in this case 3 days of food for 3 people. That is a total of 3 silvers. You have 4 silver.
Mm,
So rations are very
yeah.
expensive, but they last a long time. Or they don't last a long time, but they don't go rotten. They don't spoil. They won't last a long
Well,
time if you eat it naturally. So
she was here. Can I ask my two companions to chip in since you're all gonna eat from this?
everyone pitch in 1 silver if you can.
If I could.
I
Yes.
don't think I have any left.
Otherwise, if Ali has to spot you, you can pay him back later after you get some money from the adventure.
I'll put down a classy IOU. I
I
really
will
want to
Mm,
hunt
too.
the goblins.
problem is, we need somebody to hire for this. It's like a risk versus risk. We like
Yeah.
forage like in the dungeon, but I thought there's anything edible in there. How long are we even trying to stay there, by the way? We need to plan this.
Your
How long do
character
you
can
guys want to
survive
stay in the
7 days
dungeon?
without food before dying. So
Yes.
Would that have any effect on us in the meantime before, like,
yeah, if you're hungry, you'll get a -1. If you're starving, you'll get a -2. And then if you're about to die, you're -4.
okay, so when does hunger set in and when does
After a
starvation
day of
set in?
not eating.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. I would suggest I'm gonna pay and buy the rations. Screw the
Well, if we
health.
get some food, I can cook something up tonight. I know a
Yep,
thing or two.
you can cook food easy. Um,
Mhm.
you're probably not gonna be out there more than a week, just a few days at most. So if you buy normal food, cook it, you're good to go, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
And it
okay,
lasts
that's
longer.
fair enough.
Yeah, I do have my pot. I could do a little bit of it. I learned a thing or two. When you're out of the mines, you don't get too much. So I got crafty.
So fresh
Oh,
produce,
okay.
it will stay fresh for about a week. And then,
Okay, yeah.
but when you
Oh
cook
wow.
it, the meal turns bad after a few days, right?
Oh,
Naturally.
that's interesting.
All right.
So
Yeah, I'm just gonna buy some fresh produce instead. Like one, I would say,
1 silver worth of
like
it, good to go.
yeah. Also worth it.
You'll need something to carry the food with, like a bag.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Shit. I
Well, what
do
about
have
my
enough
I,
for
pot?
this.
My pot can hold 30. It has a 30 load limit. We could put something in my pot.
All right.
Yep, you can put the food in the pot. Um,
Just for
do I have
storage.
any more
and then
space in
carry
my
the pot on the shoulder.
Yep, do that.
All right.
Do I have any more room in my sack with the torches?
The
Does he
sack
have?
is full of torches right now. So unless you emptied it of torches, then you can't put food in there.
Well, the food's gonna go in the pot anyways to cook. So for storage,
Mhm.
while we're traveling about, I think we can just put it in there. I don't
Stuff it in
mind.
the pot. Mhm.
All right. Okay, we got our food situation settled. I guess we're all good. Good night, gentlemen.
Yep. I'll see you in the morning, lads.
All right. Day one is or day zero is passing, and it's going to day one. So tonight you go hungry, but tomorrow morning you'll buy food and eat some food. You'll have to buy at the markets. So we'll say at the start of day one, the party of three made their way into the village market, and we already planned to go here anyway. Ali was planning to talk to some of the merchants, perhaps gather some information, but before that, they decided to purchase some food naturally. They purchased about 30 pounds of food, which cost them 1 silver piece. This was paid for by Ali the apprentice. Alright, and then Ali, you said you wanted to have the party meet with some merchants?
Yes, preferably people with caravans and stuff like that because we're
Oh,
probably gonna hire somebody to check them.
sure. There's actually a small caravan stationed, or there's a small caravan here in the market right now. You go in, talk to some of the workers or the vendors?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for. I'm gonna go and check and ask for them like to tell me either like who they hired to defend them when they were traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just so I can like buy them as well.
Sure. So you approach them. You're about to ask them this information. As you're talking with them, do either Grenloud or Bortel want to try anything in the meantime, or do you guys want to join the conversation and just kind of listen in or say anything?
Just kind of listen in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm there for it.
All right. The two of you stand at Ali's side, listen to what he has to say to the merchants. Ali, you go ahead and say it as if you were Ali, right? Roleplay it to or
Ah,
speak
my
it.
bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello there, gentlemen. I would like your, caravanners and stuff like that. Travel on the road is dangerous, and you probably have hired men with arms. I and my companions of adventurers and want to go to one of the local and help some, the locals here clear out the mines. But, we lack in numbers, and would like to know who you have hired to protect you and if they are in the city, so we can hire them for ourselves to aid us.
Oh, you're looking for our merchant gods or Kevin gods. Well, they're currently, of course, spending their time in the village until we are ready to move again. But if you look at the hires, them, some of them do frequent the local tavern for sure. A few of them I know decide to work their days at the village walls as watchmen in the meantime. A handful of them do like to visit the training grounds here in the village. They go there
Alright,
to exercise and stay fit, of course, for the next caravan journey.
I go to the training grounds.
And another merchant, what you mentioned, there's a few of them also here, just guarding a caravan market.
Alright, thank you very much for the aid.
Then you
Uh,
move on. So
yeah.
from here, you guys want to go to a training ground to find some? It sounded like.
I got a question actually. What? Okay, so in the market, is there anybody selling weapons or any kind of hardware?
Yes, there are two merchants and such. There's a small weapon vendor that you passed by earlier, had simple arms available. The merchant caravan has more advanced arms available, naturally. These are weapons and armor from the town. So simple weapons can be purchased from the village weapons trader, but more advanced weapons, right, metal weapons and such, can be purchased from the caravan.
Okay. I want to go to the small vendor that's in town, the local one.
hmm so you can discuss it with your party, so you guys can stay together, figure out what to do first, unless you want to split the party. But if you split it, the game will take longer, because there will be two parties then, right? Separate uh,
Mm-hmm.
discussions.
I mean, like, I follow him as well. Like, yeah, let's go trip, like a quick little chop.
So if you
Maybe,
want, you do all the market scenes first, and then leave the market and go somewhere else after.
yep.
Yeah, we can go to the training grounds after. Is that where you wanted to go?
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to go to the training grounds after?
Yeah, you do. Can we just have him like do this while I'm tracking with the other guys, or is that too late for that?
You wanna
Yeah.
talk
Could
to?
could I? Yeah. Could I take like almost a rollback and just kind of while they're doing that, I wander off to the small vendor shop that
Yeah, so
has
that
the.
would be
I
that
know,
would be
like
what
I
I said
noticed the
earlier. They'll
weapons
be
one.
splitting the party, so then you know, it would take less time perhaps in game, but it will take more time out of game maybe, right? Because you guys will be
Yeah,
split
out
up.
of game. But in
So
game, like
before
let's
you
just say
split up, I highly recommend you figure out a way to find each other. That's the thing that will take longer if you
well,
guys don't know how to meet up, right?
we're kind of like a rollback. So instead of me being there while he talks to the caravan, like I just kind of branched off and went to the
Oh,
weapons
I
vendor.
see.
Like I
You
met him on the
talk
way.
to. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. We can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So in the
I didn't
meantime,
think about it before, so that's my
all
fault.
good. No, no worries. It works out. So, Ali and Wardo were talking with the merchants, the merchant caravan. Well, Grenloud, he went off to talk to the nearby weapons trader here in the village.
Okay.
Come and take a look, sir. Got mostly
Hey,
bows and arrows here.
what kind of weapons do they have? Like what kind of things do they have on display right now?
So you mostly see racks of short bows. Uh, there's a few longbows. There's some crossbows. There's a box of slings, some slings hanging, bags and crates, and uh, quivers of ammunition, empty quivers, filled quivers, different types of ammunition. There's a melee section too for melee weapons. You find there's gonna be um, some clubs, some spears, a few hand axes, a few daggers. Um, that's about the extent of the simple weapons.
That's interesting. All right. Hello. I'm curious. I noticed your fine weaponry here. I can't help but notice the forge quality on these weapons here.
Mm. Yes,
Do
the
you
local
do you reckon to
blacksmith crafts
know
them.
local blacksmith? You say?
We don't have a weaponsmith, but we do have a blacksmith, and every now and then he helps make the arrowheads and the spearheads, the hand axe, or the axe heads, and of course the blade to these daggers.
I say, where do you reckon the metal comes from?
Well, used to come from the local mine. We had a copper mine. Every now and then we get iron from it.
Hmm. Well, the blacksmith's done a mighty fine job.
I will let him know. Appreciate it.
Yeah, put
We
in a
have
good
a
word.
we
The
have a
name's
few other
Grenloud.
weapons of different quality. Shows you besides the standard iron daggers that they have available, or steel daggers and such. Um, they also have some silver daggers if you're interested. This is the more.
Hmm.
This is probably the highest extent of their craftsmanship
Hmm.
they can get to. Silver tipped
Unfortunately, I'm
weapons.
I'm a wee bit tapped out myself. I'm simply an admirer.
Oh, no
I've
worries.
seen the forges in process, and I gotta know. I gotta say when I see the craftsmanship, I know and to acknowledge it. Have you heard anything from the new or from the old mines rather before
The
they
old
shut
mine.
down?
I hear they dug too deep, or maybe the monsters dug too far up.
Maybe they
But
dug
either
too
way,
far up.
it's filled with demons now running around.
Curious.
The demons they keep their distance from the village, fortunately, but they have taken the mine. I believe they are actually using the mine to their own benefit.
Your own benefit, you say. Where'd you hear this?
Hence, they don't attack the village. A few travelers, adventurers had gone there, trying to figure out why there were goblins there once, but they were not too successful. They killed some of the goblins, questioned uh, their occupation in the mine, and they figured that the goblins were there trying to get the copper as well.
Hmm. Alas. Well, I figured I'd ask. I'm with a band of adventurers. This is my first adventure,
Hmm.
and I was just trying to get a word of it as well. If you could put a word in, just let the blacksmith know that Grenloud will be seeing him someday soon.
For sure, good sir, Mr. Dwarf. Gwenloud, here, take this as a sample. Perhaps let me know how it actually fares in combat. He hands you one of the daggers. You get a free dagger.
Hey, thank you kindly.
Hope to
I'll
see
be
you
sure to
again,
come.
Gwenloud, and best of luck on your first adventure.
Thank you kindly. You have a blessed rest of your day.
You as well, sir. Alright,
Cool. And then I
and
saunter back over to the
mhm.
caravan and I meet up behind while they're wrapping up negotiations.
A few minutes later, after some discussion between Ali, Gwenloud, and Wardell, you've shared your thoughts, and it sounds like it's time to go visit the training grounds, unless there's something else you would like to discuss or do.
I'm
No?
gonna I
Okay.
show I show my dagger to Ali. Get a load of this.
Wow.
Yeah. Little
Yes.
sample from the market here. Are you any good at daggers?
Yeah. Yeah, I prefer a little blunt weapon.
Hmm. Well, I figure a thief like yourself might almost have more use for it than a dwarf like I.
Yeah,
I have my
alright.
trusty hand axe here. That's all I need.
Alright. Do you try to give me the dagger or you just like keep it for yourself?
Well, I'm wondering if you want it.
I mean, more the merrier.
Well, here. I reckon I want to put this in the best hands I can.
Well, thank you. Alright, a dagger. Wonderful.
Okay. And if you want, when you get into melee combat, if you do choose melee combat over missile combat, you can use both the club and dagger at the same time.
Oh, I can duel them. Cool.
hmm
Hell
One will
yeah.
be in the main hand, which will be dealing the damage, but the other will give you a bonus to your attack roll,
Oh.
making openings for you, or blocking or parrying the enemy's weapon so that you can hit, increasing your chance to hit.
Alright. I guess we'll move on to the state, no, to the
The
training grounds.
yeah, the training grounds we go.
hmm Alright, so you move on to the training grounds from the village market, and within the village, uh, near one side of the village walls, where it's a bit more open, I suppose. Here you see that there are fewer and fewer um, or establishments or buildings. It's just more of uh, past a village green, out in the open. There's just this large grassy field, but within this field, there's some places you might train, where you see fences protecting particular areas or blocking particular areas off because they're for riding horses, perhaps riding laps. You see areas where you could hit targets with bow and arrow. You see areas where you can lift weights. You see areas where you can whack certain targets with melee weapons, right? Various targets with melee weapons. So an open training ground that is encouraged for the village to use in times of, or at all times, so that the village may stay fit for war in case it happens, or fighting off monsters. Every man in the village is required to own arms, take up arms if need be, naturally, being the frontier settlement that it is. So this is a great place to exercise and make yourself fit. Right now, this morning, it's there's a few people out there. You see about a handful of men practicing archery together. They look like peasants. You see a group of militia. They're lifting weights. They have their weapons off to the side and armor. Looks like they're just off duty. And you see one man out there by himself, just kind of running laps. Do you want to meet with any of these people? There's three groups of people. One solo, a few shooting bow and arrow, and a few guardsmen lifting weights.
Ollie's the one hiring.
The guardsmen might not be open to hire, naturally, unless you're persuasive enough to get them to, get off duty early, request leave. Um, the archers look like just a group of ordinary men that might be hireable. And the man who's running looks quite fit, but he has no weapons, not pressing any kind of armor or weaponry or anything like that. But he looks strong and fit, so if you give him the proper gear, or maybe he has gear somewhere else, he could be a good man at arms.
I. Hmm. I woke up to the archer man.
Visit the archers. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it kind of sucks and quick. And it's like, hello there, gentlemen. I see you're capable warriors, and you're practicing.
Hi.
And
Yeah. They all look at you. Indeed, indeed.
yes,
Care to join us?
I. Hmm. Yes, but I have raised you this. Do you like making money?
They all look at each other and nod. Of course we do.
And what do you think? Uh, the best practice is just to do the chin. Shooting a stable, target is good, but shooting an actual enemy will provide you more experience and will make you better archers. So, why wouldn't you join us on an adventure? It's only gonna take a couple of days and you're gonna be good at range. At least one of you, since this all can afford.
Alright, let me see how the men react. Positive reaction. You made a good gesture and good reason, good sound reason. With the charisma, they can give you a free bonus as well, or penalty.
-1.
-1. Okay, you have a +2
Yeah.
from how you interacted with them, and a -1 from your charisma. It's a 10. It's positive reaction. They're
Hold
quite
on.
friendly to your idea, and they're open to it. They ask for the details though. Where exactly do the three of you plan on heading? What's the plan for the adventure?
To the mines. They got overrun by goblins and creatures of sorts. It's only a day's journey from here. Actually, I think it's a little less than a day's journey. It's me and my two allies. One of them is a dwarf, and the other is seems to be a merely oriented warrior.
They'll look at each other and kind of nod. This doesn't sound like a bad idea. How much do you want
Yes.
to offer? You paying us half the share, or perhaps a 50-50 split? There's 4 of us and 3 of you.
Well, we split. I plan to have everything be split equally among all of us.
All of
Or
us,
we
huh?
can,
Hmm. They all
or
look at each other and nod. That sounds like a good
or I can just give
deal.
it you silver now, and have it guaranteed for you.
Faramir, what do you think? Whatever Nargox thinks. Nargox nods. This is a good one. If they're offering us a fair share, this is a good one. Most adventurers are quite greedy and offer just a few silver per adventure. But if they treat
Oh,
us as equals and pay us equally, then this is definitely a great deal.
well, you are a man. You have flesh and bone just like me.
Alright, well, if you want to hire all 4 of us, you don't see 4 of them, you just see 3. But eventually a woman steps out from the shade.
Ah,
That's my
all
sister,
four.
Beka. She won't be
Mm,
fighting if that's okay, but she can definitely help out in other ways. Torches,
oh,
supplies. She's also
ah.
good at cooking.
Yay.
This is the thinks about for a moment. Well, I have the chance to have a longer expedition and kill more. I kind of turned to my friends and like, what do you think, man? Should we plan to stay there longer than expected and reap more benefits, hopefully?
Oh yeah,
Even maybe.
I wouldn't mind having a woman around.
Alright, don't be creepy. But
Yeah.
with all these people here, we might have a good chance at killing their leader and reap even greater reward.
Are you saying backstab?
Oh no! By all means, no.
It sounds like a backstab.
Now you're putting words in my mouth, sir. I am very worried about you and your intentions.
I'm not saying I'm gonna backstab, especially not to the kind young lady.
I will be keeping an eye on you. He turns back to the rest of the men. Um, how about you, dwarven friend? Are you willing?
I think it sounds like a good idea.
All right, I agree, and I hire the people, and we set up today as soon as possible. I just want to get ready and meet us at the outside of the uh at the I don't know, like at the main gates, so we can leave. Yeah,
We can take off today if you plan to leave today, but give us an
yeah.
hour to prepare then.
Of course, of course. Just make sure to prepare, and as soon as you're ready, we will be waiting you at the main gates, so we can leave.
All right.
Okay. Have we gotten
After a
our
short time, oh, go
have we
ahead.
gotten our produce? Have we gotten our food?
Really, this is gonna provide enough. Oh yeah, because I'm not paying. Can I just buy
You want to
more
buy an extra
rations?
set?
Yep.
Okay. Um,
More food?
we're gonna have to figure out a way to carry the extra food then. You have
Can I ask the lady to carry it instead? Since she's not gonna be a combatant.
oh yeah, the woman, Becca.
Yep. She's
Okay.
not gonna be a combatant. She's just gonna be like easy to be worried and stuff.
Yeah, she actually brings equipment for that. She has a whole pack to carry torches and food with.
Yep. Perfect. This is gonna be more than just a simple expedition. I see. More fame, more fortune.
All right, you have 2 silver left to buy an extra food. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that. If we need any more, we either eat the goblins or forage for food.
All right. Um, when you do meet with your crew at the tavern, it's Caldwell who's their leader, and the other group's leader. And he says, for your kind invitation to join your adventure, they offer to pay for food and drink at the tavern, so that you guys will set out on full bellies and you know nice and well hydrated.
Hey,
So it costs
I
one
never said
Yeah.
silver,
no to
and
a
it's
good
enough
drink.
food for the seven of you, even some extra
Well,
food left over.
Oh, God. So this is a charitable offer from our new hires.
All right. So after
I've
this,
never said no to a free drink.
you get a free drink and a free meal with it. They purchase your meals, at least Caldwell did, and from there you all set out. We are halfway through our game, so let's take a 5 minute break. Come back in 5. Go use the restroom or whatever you need to do. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
mhm.
Solid. Schedule breaks. I like it. This is interesting. This is kind of cool, actually. I like this.
Yeah, I do too.
It'll be curious going through. Because now we have 7 of us, which is kind of cool.
Kind of worried about my 1 hit point though.
Well, hey, now there's more hit points in our party, so we'll just have to make sure your back is watched. Or you'll have to make sure your back is watched. I got a few. Yeah, this won't be too bad. Wait, what kind of weapons do you have, Reaper?
Short sword and a shield,
Short
and
sword
a
and shield. Interesting. Okay. Actually, it'd be really nice. It's gonna be good to have like shorter range weapons when we're in the mines. I have no idea how it's gonna look, but I'd imagine it's gonna get kind of cramped in there. Yeah, with a big group of 7, it's gonna be a little bit congested. But who knows? Maybe it's a really big mine.
well, with all the archers, I mean, we'll be able to mow some down to be at the beginning.
You know, I'll be able to just like straight paths. Hopefully, being a miner, or being a dwarf, I'll be able to maneuver relatively easily.
Yeah, me too.
Mm, Yeah, huge win on getting a frickin' free meal and free drink beforehand, though.
Right. Can't complain.
I can't complain. And hey, say a couple guys go down, a couple of the hired guys go down on the way through. A little extra loot.
And if they end up getting killed by something, there's more bows and arrows for us.
Yeah, it will be sad. We won't grieve. However, it won't be too shabby to have a little something something. I do have a crossbow, so yeah, I do have a crossbow, but I never got arrows. I just realized. I just realized. I know what I'm doing.
Just hit them with the crossbow.
Exactly. Just to keep that threat. That's what am I running right now? I've got my hand axe, my crossbow, and a shield. So I mean, oh, and I'm able to speak Goblin, which is kind of crazy. Even though I don't got that much charisma, I did have enough to get a free dagger out of the vendor without asking. So this might be easy. This might be an absolute blunder if I have to end up talking to the goblins.
Well, I've got a 12 in charisma, so
I am back. Did I miss something?
No, we're
that
just
might help out a little bit.
chit chatting. But yeah, if you have
Oh,
a charisma of 12, we might be able to have. I might be able to be like a translator.
yeah.
If you want to try to get all charisma on those goblins, or at least the
Hand
chief,
over,
maybe.
hand over your heads.
And we need you. Listen, we need to clear this shit.
We're only asking for your heads. It's not that big of a deal.
You can give us like
You know
little
what?
shrimpy
Clean them
guys. They're all worth
anyways.
the same.
I'll give you 10 gold per head. Just hand them over.
But rather, I feel like it'd almost be better to like set up kind of a distraction. They'd probably be taken off guard, like, oh, a goblin, or not a goblin, oh, a dwarf. What does he have to say? What's he doing here? And then we'll have like some kind of sneak attack party.
I think they're gonna shoot you immediately because they hate you.
I hate them too, but I'm not gonna shoot them immediately. Partially because I can't. I can
Speaking
speak
about them,
goblin, so I can shout behind a shield.
nah, fair enough.
I'll take some heads if I have to.
You can hurl insults at them as he's
Actually, no,
backstabbing.
I'm not gonna hold back from taking heads if they're gonna attack me. Fuck those little grubby, money-hungry little freaks.
That's it. You're getting in the mood, bro, for genocide.
But hey, anything to make it like a little bit easier on us, I will suppress hatred for a period of time. Not long though.
Wonderful.
I'll talk to them and distract them. Y'all walk up behind them and stab them.
I will be shooting them with a bow and arrow.
You have a bow and arrow. Do you have any? As a thief, are you able to like be a bit
Yeah,
more
I get like
sneaky?
a sneak attack like ability, yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
May use any armor and backstab unaware or behind. Okay. Is backstab just like a big damage or is it an insta kill?
It's
Alright,
either
it
big
has been
damage or
5 minutes. Hopefully that was a long enough break for y'all. To answer
Oh
your
yeah.
question about backstabbing, there's a partial backstab available too, but basically if you attack an opponent from behind and that's unaware, you will get to deal double damage with a +4 attack bonus. If you have one of the two qualifications, we do have a house rule where you can have a partial backstab. So one or two qualifications mean one or two benefits as well. So if you are behind them or if they're unaware of you, then you can get one of the two benefits rather than both. But if you have both conditions met, you get both benefits naturally.
Okay.
Right. Let's see. So naturally, how we do it for the partial one is, uh, if you would probably take a +4 bonus if you don't hit, but then if you do hit, you'll take a double damage. Right.
Okay.
Versus
Yeah. Figured I'd ask just in case.
full benefit. Yep. All good. All right. Your party stands in the village of Givlon on day one after meeting with your crew and after having a lunch or breakfast with them. Looks like the party's ready to set out. So the village, or you're headed to the castle ruins to the south. No, you're headed to the mines to the southwest. Right.
Yeah, I'm going southwest.
Okay, so the mine is to the southwest, about 1 league out. Okay,
Uh,
so it's a short walk
can
from the village ruins or the village of Givalon, and you make your way out to the mine. There's a old path or a dirt path that leads to the mine naturally, because the miners need to have a way of transporting the goods back and forth. So you follow this old path to the mine, and it's a short walk. Your party moves to the rate of medium footmen, given the loadout of your crew, which means you can move half the normal rate per day. Therefore, you move at the rate of 12 miles per hour. Or not per hour, per day. 12 miles per day. And that means you're in an hour, you're able to travel about. Let's see, got a calculator real quick. Figure out how long it takes you to get there. All right, we
It'd
got a
be a couple
path.
hours.
All right, so 12 miles divided by 8. Let's see. You can move at 1.5 miles per hour. The place is about 3 miles away. So it should take you about 2 hours to get there, and a little less since we have a dirt path. Since we have a dirt path, you move 33% faster, so that would be 1 point or 12 times 1.333, which means you move at 60 miles an hour or a day divided by 8 again is 2 miles an hour. So yeah, in 1 hour and a half of marching along the path, you should get there. So about an hour and a half goes by marching along the dirt path, and you arrive at the entrance to the old mine, which is currently it is not blocked off or anything, but um, you can see that there's like what looks like a wooden like a barricade was there before. Now it's all broken. There's a hole in it, so it looks like it was blocked off, but it's no longer blocked off. Someone pried their way into the mine, right? Open or past the barricade that was built is just smashed apart. So you can squeeze through if you want, or you can fully clear it. But if you squeeze through one at a time, may enter.
Mm.
You're at the
Oh,
entrance
just
now.
going
As a
first.
as a dwarf, I'm able to squeeze through it, right?
hmm The entrance is on the north side. So I will start it the map on the north side of the sheet for y'all. Because this is exploring unknown territory to your party, I'll be drawing you a map, and you can draw your own map, of course, as we go, so you have your own version. But known areas you move 3 times faster. Unexplored areas you move at a normal rate of exploration, which means you guys will be able to explore 60 feet per turn. And
Okay.
upon
And
arriving,
am I able to navigate any better being a dwarf?
being a dwarf, uh, you might be able to. Let's see. Instead of 3 times faster with the dwarf, if the dwarf is exploring ahead, the dwarf can move. We could say like maybe 1.5 or a little faster in the dungeon. Yeah, they can explore a little faster. So we'll say because you have a dwarf in your party, it's gonna be exploration is 33% faster, or we'll do what's between 2 and or 1 and 3 then. So it's gonna be yeah, we'll just say you guys can explore the rate of 3 times or 2 times as fast now that you have a dwarf with you in
I
unexplored territories. So instead of 60 feet, you can explore at the rate of 120 feet. If the dwarf is
if
leading
I'm
the
like
way,
lead.
right?
Okay.
Mapping around,
Well,
or he doesn't have to
I'll take.
exactly lead, but just because he's
Yeah.
here, if he's attentive, then of course the dwarf is able to make you guys explore faster in the dungeon.
See,
Alright,
see here.
and if this was explored territory, you might be able to move even faster, but
Yeah.
um, it's new to all of us. I think no one has been here before.
Okay. Well, I
Alright,
picked up a thing or two back in other
back in the
mines was
mines.
raised around. I'm not any total veteran of it, but I know a thing or two.
Let me start the map here. Right now from the entrance, you can see only about 30 feet or 20 feet in from the daylight.
Okay. So
I will
it's like
take one of my torches off my belt and ask somebody if they have a way to light it.
I have a tinder box. Hand it over.
Alright. Can I Can you also light up this lantern?
Aye. No worries, friend. So I light
Alright.
up the. So I'll use my tinderbox. I'll light up the lantern. I'll light up the torch.
Alright, just gonna have the lantern on my head. Try to butt the rope, and that's it.
Okay. It's your lantern.
Yep.
Alright, so that's north on the top of the page.
Okay. And then
The party starts
Wardell,
on this side.
do you wanna hold on to your torch?
No, I need both my hands free. Can somebody else take it? I'll
Yeah.
have my shield in one hand and my sword in the other.
I need
Should
the
we
bow.
make?
Ah,
Should
the
we make
girl.
one of? Should we make one of the? Yeah, we can make the girl can hold it for now.
Yep. You just have 3 bowmen and like one guy.
Alright. Yeah, she is a proper torchbearer actually. She brought her own torches. So
Ah.
Ah.
you can use yours or she can use hers, right? So
I was just already a lich.
yeah, you lit yours already. So how many did you light? One or two? It's
Lit
recommended
one.
you have two. One in the back, one in the front.
Yeah, we lit one torch, and
Just
then
one?
lit Ali's lantern.
Yep.
Okay, to light your lantern you need some oil or a candle, which you don't have yet.
Oh, you need an
Oh,
oil
You need
or
fuel
oh,
for it.
okay.
So she
Okay, fine.
prepares one torch.
She
And
lights it
who?
herself.
Yeah, she can light herself. Did you want to light? Did you want her to light two torches instead? She has 10 total.
I mean, we might as well save our own. Unless you want to lighten your load.
Yeah, if you use your own, you'll lighten your load, so you'll be able to move a little faster over time.
Yeah, I think I'll keep that one with I had him light.
Okay, so you lit one already with the whose tinderbox? It was used
It's mine.
or yeah,
Green Louds.
Grenloud's
Gren Louds.
tinder. Okay.
Yeah. Gren Louds tinderbox.
All right, two torches lit. One is being carried by Ali, and who's gonna carry the second one? Or not Ali. It was Bena,
What?
right? Bena, the woman or the torchbearer. She's bearing one torch.
Yeah.
By the way,
She's
your
bearing
friends
her own.
are Caldwell, which is their leader, and then there's Farmir, Nargax, and there's Bena.
Okay.
Between the
Well,
four
she
of
can
them,
hold
they
it.
only have two bows.
Okay. Two bows.
The other two have slings.
The two of slings. Oh wait, so the girl, she has a weapon.
Yep, she's got a sling and a dagger. And Farmir has
Okay.
a sling, a dagger, and a spear. Caldwell has a uh, light crossbow and a hand axe. And then Nargax has a light crossbow and a hand axe as well.
Okay.
Or no,
Yeah, and with
they got the spears. I mean, yes.
yeah, and with slings, I can just like pick a little rock up off the ground and use that.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Figured I'd ask that too. Okay.
You have
Well
a
then, in
sling,
that
right,
case,
Grinlout? Yeah, you have a sling.
yeah,
So
I have a sling. I said
the
crossbow
sling
earlier,
comes with
but
a
yeah.
bag of stones.
Oh, it comes with a bag of stones. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I already have my own little perfect sling stones.
Yep, a sling bag
The ammo is
for stones.
literally dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's why it's a pretty good weapon.
Yeah,
Almost
that's good.
infinite
Okay,
ammo.
that's good. All
As
right.
long as there are stones around, you can shoot the
Yeah, I
sling.
mean, being in a mine, we're gonna be around a lot of stones, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, unless you're in the middle of a desert, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, the girl, she can hold her own torch. She
Yep,
so
she's holding
obliges.
one, but there's an extra torch that was lit.
Yeah. What
Mm,
else? So I'm wondering if I should hold it.
The
I
crossbowmen
can,
have their crossbows out so they can shoot before monsters get close.
and I'll have
Farmir
one.
is willing to
I'll
stand
have.
at the front lines with his spear.
Okay. I'm able to hold out. I'm still have. So with one hand I'll use the torch, and then the other hand I'll be able to use my shield.
and, and can you also like try to move forward and sneak to like
Like,
scout out the vision?
oh, so go like,
You wanna
be
scout
a little
ahead?
careful.
Yep.
Okay.
Sneak out. Be sneaky and scout for looking for enemies or traps.
So who wants to scout ahead?
That's a
Uh,
good question.
me.
You want?
Wardell? Okay,
Ali
so
wants to scout ahead.
Yes, I am a rogue. That is my job.
alright, so Ali, how far do you want to scout ahead? You want to be 10 feet ahead of the party or 20 feet? The further you are, the harder it is to get back to them and communicate. But the greater chance you can, of course, see something before they see the rest of your party, right?
Mm, I will say 10 feet.
10 feet? Okay, so there's 10 feet gap between you and your party. And do you want to equip your pole to prod the floor for traps?
Yeah.
And your other hand, you can take the other torch. So you can see ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants the
Fair
torch
enough.
if he's scouting.
Yeah, if I'm
Well,
going to be sneaking with a torch, help me out or not?
you need to see up ahead naturally.
Oh, yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
But he's tapping
If he's
around
10
like a
feet
blind
away, then
man.
there's 10 feet of dim light past him. So if you want to just have dim light in front of you, that's fine.
Yeah,
Monsters are
well,
used to the
there's fucking
darkness,
visibility in your negative
and in
40.
dim lighting conditions, they're pretty used to it too. So it might not scare them at first, but firelight will definitely, disturb them.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
noticed that.
I'm gonna go with the dim light since I'm being so close to everybody anyways.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um, what would be my stealth roll, please? Or is
Uh,
it like
stealth roll.
yes? Because I'll
Uh,
change all the
to move silently, you will get to roll a. Oh, I have to roll it for you. It's percentile, dice. But your percentage is like maybe 10% to move silently to the point where nothing can hear you.
well, it's better than zero.
True.
Yeah, move silently is 20% actually at level one.
Oh,
That's even
ah,
better.
cool.
That's twice as good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So who would be the? So that means so far there's two parties. One party is a scouting party and one party is the main party. So Ali's in his own party as a rank 1A. The rest of you, or rank 1S, we'll say first scouting party. The rest of you are the normal party. So he's first, and if you were to be in the, if you guys were a party, let's see the marching order. If you guys were in a party, so if you all were in the same party, who's in the front? Who's rank 1? You're gonna.
As a dwarf, I'd like to be either first or second in the party. I do have my shield, and I do have knowledge of mines, as is.
Okay, so you can just pick unless someone objects to you. But do you want to be in the front lines, first rank?
I'll be the front lines, because I mean, even like the crossbow guys, they should be able to shoot me. How tall are goblins usually?
Goblins, they're pretty small. They're about the same size as a dwarf.
Okay, I can make that work. All right, well,
And then
I'll be first in the party then. I can hold the torch up front.
all right then,
Uh,
your
I go
torchbearer.
behind him.
All right, and Wardell, your second rank behind him. And Cadwell, let's see, the crossman stands further back. Uh, they'll move up if they get a chance to shoot past the front line. But a spearman is in the front with his shield. That is Farmir. He's got a Farmir's got a spear and a dagger and a sling and a sack. Okay, so that's him. So he's in the front line, Faramir. Who would like to take with the rear guard? In case we have to escape, the rear guard becomes the front, right? Or if there's an attack from behind, the rear guard has to defend the rear naturally. So who wants
Um,
to be protecting the back?
I guess me.
Alright, Ali, if you had to fall back into the ranks, you'll be in the very back.
Yep.
So there's a total of 7 of you, so that means 4 ranks. One rank has just one person. That'll probably be the middle rank. But the rear guard is Ali in 4th rank with let's say Nargax or Cadwell. Let's do Cadwell since he's the leader of the other crew.
Hmm.
So it's 2 parties joining as one, but then we're splitting into a scouting party too. So now it's technically there's 3 different parties, but right now we're all together as one until we enter. When the scout goes up ahead, there's gonna be 2 more parties again: a scouting party and the main party. All right. So, uh, shall we enter? The entry
I
is here. Narrow entrance, one at a time may fit through it.
okay.
As you
Well,
start to creep in, the first one to go inside is alley. There's no torch, just daylight going through the wooden structures that protect the entrance. So, barricade in the side of a hill. The mine is built in the side of a hill. A grassy hill. It's the middle of summer or the start of summer, so it's all wet and moist. You try to move the wood around, try to climb through, squeeze through. All right, let's see what we find in the first area. We're now exploring. A party explores at the rate of 120 feet every turn. So you can explore up to 120 feet before a turn passes, 10 minutes pass. Um, unless, of course, you guys take other actions. But the faster you guys can explore, the less chance of a random encounter. Random encounters are not profitable, they're just deadly. So, just like
oh,
a
okay.
monster coming, it's like the cat and mouse scenario. So typically, you'll try to hide or run from a
But if we get
random
ahead,
monster.
if we get ahead off of it, that's profit.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, as soon as you enter the mine, right, this first 10 feet, you step inside, it's kind of a rocky tunnel up ahead, but there's already a wooden chest here on the side, beside a wall, a small wooden chest. Further ahead, let's see, that's the first area. Let's see. All right. Further ahead, you'll see that there's nothing up ahead past the first 10 feet. So far we see there's a chest here, the first 10 feet. Do you want to bring the party inside to look at it, regroup, or do you want to deal with this yourself, or do you want to just move past it and lead the party further into the dungeon, or something else? What is your
Can
choice?
you repeat? Can you repeat that, please?
So
Sorry.
as soon as you enter, there's already a wooden chest in the first 10-foot area. And I
Mm,
offered you the choices. You can look at the chest yourself, you can move past it, allowing the rest of the party to come through, or you can try something else, right? But only you are inside the dungeon at the moment. Everyone else is still outside, because
can
you're the first one to enter.
he thinks about it. He just pokes it with the 10-foot pole. What happens?
Let me see.
Just checking if it's a mimic.
Nothing happened, fortunately.
Alright, he pushes through.
Okay. Do you want to just observe it, or do you want to test it? Do you want to do anything to it?
Nope, he just pokes it to check if it's not like an enemy or a trap, and then he moves forward.
Alright. If you want to observe to see if it's a trap, if there's like a hidden trap, it will take one turn of observation.
You know what? Um, e- I would just look for to move forward and look for other traps or enemies
In
ahead.
the area?
He's gonna ignore the chest. He doesn't think it's worth it. Doesn't have any. Probably doesn't have any interest in it. So he's like, no.
So you want to move forward? Is what you're saying?
Yep. Look for more enemies or traps.
Okay, so right now up ahead, the next 10-foot area, you don't see anything there. But further past it gets too dark. You only get to see what's in these areas if you move further south. Do you want to start moving south?
I will wait for everybody else to get in before moving any further.
Alright, here's the second party. Okay, so it's you. For them to get inside, you have to go forward, right? Unless you want to tell them to regroup, and then you guys become one party again. So do you want
Uh,
to like regroup, or do you want to go keep scouting ahead?
No, but I told him not touch that chest.
Yeah, I don't have to tell me twice.
Alright, so
Right?
you're moving south. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So you move further south. You're entering into a 10-foot intersection. From this intersection, you can continue east or south. Okay. Um, but this next area is empty. The party's not entering behind you. They keep their 10 foot of distance. So actually, they're not even inside yet. They're just at the entrance, right? Because you guys keep a 10-foot gap between each other. So if you're here, then they're outside still. But if you move further, they'll come inside, right? So for
Alright.
now, it's just you still. Um, unless you want them to get closer. So, but for now, they're
Can.
just outside.
Alright.
Up ahead to the south, let's see if you see anything there. You're observing carefully, studying the dungeon up ahead. Let's see, you're exploring. To the south, you'll see that there's let's see. There's something in the shadows to the south that scampers off to the side for a second. Let's see how the monster reacts to you. It is a positive reaction. It's in your favor. The monster leaves the area. You saw
Mm,
something
okay.
creep out from the shadows going further west into darkness as soon as you walked inside. There was something lurking in the shadows and it left. And
Okay.
then to the east,
Sorry. Um,
sorry, one second. Let's see.
hmm?
To the east, there's nothing there.
Okay, I moved to the east just to make enough space for everybody to get in, and then I killed them both the small shadowy creature that I seen.
Okay, you move off to the east as the party enters, and then you kind of whisper from the corner that you saw something
Mm,
shadowy.
yep,
Do you
I
guys
moved
want to stop and
forward.
discuss it or keep exploring?
I'm gonna ask, was it a goblin?
I couldn't tell, but most probably yes.
Where'd it go?
In that direction. We should be careful, it might be alerting its allies or guiding us towards a trap.
I. What can I see? So now I'm inside the mine, right?
Hmm. Right now,
And do I
you're in
have
the
any
first.
kind of like?
Oh,
I
go ahead.
guess yeah, you can see that now. Do I have any kind of like specialty kind of expertise on what I'm seeing as far as like the wall, like the mine cave or like the mine walls and any like
You
little
can study.
details
It
that
takes
I
time.
notice?
Like you can search for it. If you see a wall that's out of place or like, you know, you think based on the way the structure looks, it might have a secret entry. You can definitely check. But so
Okay,
far,
would I be able to do a quick observation check?
it's not very. You can just. I'll tell you what you see. Right now, you're
Okay.
standing in a 10-foot wide tunnel, cavernous tunnel. It goes south into an intersection. From there, you can go south or east. You see, to the east of the intersection is the other party, the scout. He's
Okay.
looking right at you.
And how much can I see holding the torch up, or just having the torch in hand?
You can see 20 feet ahead total. So
Okay.
that means you can
Okay,
only
that's what
see
I
up
can
to
see.
here, which is where he
Up
saw
to
the
that one
monster
point.
earlier.
Oh, okay.
You
And
can
the
also
dark
see where he's
spots,
standing.
those are
That's
the
walls.
dark
Yeah,
spots. Yeah,
dark
those are
spots
walls. Okay,
walls.
that's what I was thinking. Okay, so I can see the far wall.
Yeah, you can see this wall here. You know it might continue to this direction, but you don't know what's there yet. It's unexplored
Oh, okay.
territory.
Okay. I see. Well, we're gonna be following Ali a little bit here. So, um, let me just think. Yeah, no, I think I'll be all right.
Okay.
We proceed. We just proceed in suit.
Alright then. Let's see. So at this point, Ali, if you want to continue, the next area is 30 feet wide and 10 feet long. And let's see if you can see any further on that. You can see 20 feet ahead. Let's see. 3, 2, 3, 3, and 2. There's a wall right in front of you. Three. Yeah, so that's all we can kind of see so far. Wall in front of us. 10 feet further past. This next area up ahead. Let's see what we've got cooking here. Number 4. Alright then. You are approached by some, as soon as you look to the east, you are approached by a party of dwarves immediately. They start speaking Dwarven, and the only dwarf can hear it. Right? Only the dwarf can understand them. They say this. Halt! State your business and your names. In the Dwarven
Are they talking?
language.
Wait, oh, they're able to. So they're approached all of us at once right
Right.
now.
And one then starts to speak in common right after the common tongue. Halt! State your business and your names. So one speaks in Dwarven, one speaks in common, so you all can understand. But it's a party of dwarves that approach.
Okay. Oh yeah, and we're all together right now, as one big, as a party.
Right now the thief is up at the front 10 feet ahead, but they can kind of see you guys around the corner as the thief explores into the area.
Okay. Well, I lead us all forwards into the. We kind of like merge together. Approach them gently. And I return in Dwarven. Aye. We're just a group of adventurers here to make some coin. We heard rumors of goblins. And we're here to take some heads.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, one second. Just taking a quick note of this dwarf encounter.
Okay.
Alright. Let me see how they react to you, saying that. Very positive reaction. Do you have a charisma bonus?
I have 5 charisma, so I don't think so.
-2. You have a 9. You greeted them nicely, so it's a +1. And you have the same enemy, so it's a +1. So 11 -2 is a 7. So that, or
11
sorry,
minus 2 is
9.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
And
okay.
then I was looking at this for some reason, and then I thought that was 9 -2 for a second.
Oh, okay.
All right. So positive reaction. We are hunting for the goblins too, brother dwarf.
Aye.
I see you have chosen to venture out with humans.
Aye. This is admittedly my first time, and I figured they'd be a great help to me, and so far, so good. Say, you see anything up ahead yet?
We have been tracking goblins down all day. We believe they have journeyed south at this point. We have explored to the east quite a bit and have come across great hazards, with one casualty,
Oh,
which we must drag out. Hence
we're
why
here,
we're so close
dwarves.
to the entrance already.
We're here, dwarf.
Please, if you may, or if you will, ask your human companions to part ways and let us go freely, so that we might get our wounded companion out of here.
Aye, but before you go, just to spare our own casualties. Should we need to know anything at all about what's up ahead?
Great danger lies ahead, fellow dwarf.
Aye.
Be ready. And as they're passing through, one of them hands you a spare weapon. This was from a goblin, but it could be well used in the hands of one of your friends. You receive a goblin scimitar.
Oh,
Would anyone like to take it?
hold on.
A free scimitar
Goblin
that was looted from a
scimitar.
goblin.
What does the goblin scimitar like look like? What's it made out of?
It is a quality weapon actually, meant for murder, like any
Ooh.
other weapon. It is a beautifully crafted black sword of a curved blade.
Ooh. Aye, Wardell.
But it is beautiful to only certain folk. Those who like more
Okay.
crueler looking weapons might enjoy the look of this. It is a
Okay.
cruel looking weapon, right?
It's a cruel
Cruel,
looking or
yes.
cruel
It
looking.
is
Okay.
like black and a bit
It
jagged.
just
The
looks.
blade
It
has
looks mean.
yes, the blade has in some areas where it can not hinder, where it won't hinder the blade or the use of a scimitar, they have added serrated edges, right? So that they will get trapped in flesh or remove flesh slower but more gruesomely.
Oh yeah, that would look
You
mean.
can call my name.
Aye, Wardell. You have use for a blade.
A cruel scimitar.
I could use a blade.
Well, I got a very cruel looking scimitar for you, mate.
All
Uh,
right, well, I'll pass it back here. Let me
well,
have a
you're right
go at it.
behind. Wait, you're right behind me, right?
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
Oh,
I'm
well,
still
here.
like right at the entrance.
See how this feels.
It's a
I'll
goblin
take it. Wait,
scimitar.
like, this will be fun to use on the goblins, their own weapon.
Yes.
Alright,
Well,
so this weapon has a uh, this weapon is considered to be a -1 attack but +1 damage. So it deals more damage than a normal scimitar does, but it's hard to hit with it. It's hard to actually penetrate
Okay. It's
due
harder to
to its
penetrate.
due to yeah penetrate flesh or armor or anything because it's not as sharp or not. It
Oh,
is
so I won't be
sharp,
able to.
but it's not as like smooth
Yeah. Okay,
because
so I
it's
won't be able to like
serrated.
do like a clean
It
slice,
will
but
it
it'll
won't be a clean
fucking hurt.
slice. But if you do manage to get a good cut in there, it will
That thing's
deal more
ripping.
damage.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so I give that to Wardell.
Okay. Wardell receives a scimitar,
Just getting all the weapons today. Hell yeah.
-1 attack, +1 damage. It's a cruel scimitar.
But what's funny is you keep giving them away.
Yeah, well, I don't need them. I
Put it
got
on
my
your
hand
belt.
axe. I'm a humble dwarf.
he
I have
already
no
got all he
need.
needs.
Well, also, this is from a fucking goblin, is what I'm saying. It's like I don't need it. I don't have use for this.
So it can function as a normal scimitar if you want it to, but if you want to use it in the cruel fashion, you can. Just let me know. So at default, it'll just be a normal scimitar. But if you want to use it cruelly, it will deal a -1 attack, +1 damage. Just gotta let me know
Might
when you want to do it.
also be good at
That's using the
cutting
serrated
bread.
edge.
Could be used for slicing bread. Who knows? If we find bread to slice.
Slicing goblin
I
heads.
mean, it's kind of too
Yeah.
large to slice a piece of bread with, but
That was
you
what
could
I was
definitely
imagining.
try.
You definitely try. Make a really ugly slice.
Yeah.
Or maybe cut a really big piece of bread.
So
Yeah,
it's on. It's a
I
sheath
was imagining like
scimitar.
a
It's a
giant.
proper scimitar, right?
Oh.
These goblins were using some proper weapons, which means they might be pretty deadly. So
Yeah, if they're using weapons like this, jeez.
copper equals money. Money equals better weapons
True.
that
Oh
they can
yeah,
craft.
all in the
Let's
mines.
see. All right. So
Okay.
that means yeah that the
So that
scimitar get to who did it go to again? It was
Wardo. Wardo.
Wardell.
Wardell.
Okay. Let me mark it on this sheet. Alright, he's got a cruel scimitar. Good to go. You may explore further if you'd like.
Alright. I'll lead the way.
That was area 3 right there, or encounter 3. Let's see. You can go north or south from here. You were at this. I don't know. The camera doesn't show it well because the angle, but you were in this area here. So you can now go north or south from here if you want to continue exploring. I'll tell you what you can see to the north and south before you continue. To the north of you, as you explore, there's nothing. To the south of you, as you explore, I think there's also nothing, but let me double check. Alright, the dice are telling me that there might actually be something there.
Oh no.
It appears that to the south, it's it is a stair to the south.
A stair?
Mm-hmm. Curving down to the east. This means that would take you into dungeon level 2. If you're
Mm,
interested.
I don't suggest dungeon level 2. You have a big party, but still.
That would be risky indeed early on.
And did the dwarves come from the staircase, or did they come from the north side?
They were walking, they probably came from the south. They probably went pretty deep into more dangerous areas to find the goblins. The north looks safer, there's nothing to the north. You can explore that territory freely. But to the south there's a stair descending to dungeon level 2. We have explored up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 spaces. That means, and then we have had 3 different encounters. So that will count as 70 feet of exploration. So we're at 70 out of 120. So we're still on turn 1. When we get to 120, a turn passes. It becomes turn
Got it.
2. Every turn is 10 minutes of exploration. Alright, let's take a small break. We are at 1:30 p.m. pretty much. And this is actually typically the end of our game time unless you guys want to extend. So, are we all on board for extending longer? For another hour or
I am
so?
on board for extending longer.
If you need to
If
head out
anybody
of
else.
the
Yeah.
dungeon, you can split away if others want to keep going deeper, naturally. I'm able to keep going, but if you cannot, no worries. You can grab what you've earned so far and leave the dungeon.
Mm,
So, anyone want to pull
it's
out
getting
early?
like ridiculously
I'll
late
pull out now.
right
It's not
now.
early. We've already been playing for about 3 hours now.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, guys, but it's getting ridiculously early for me. Well, it's so late it became early for me
Yeah.
right now.
Oh no, that's okay.
Yeah.
So
It
if
was a good
Ali's gonna
start.
head out to get back to town, what do the rest of you think?
Yep.
Do you want to press on further? We're already losing Ali, so
Yeah.
and he's the one who hired the other teams. The other teams
He
might
was-
leave
he
too
was-
then.
Oh fuck.
Mm, yeah.
That's okay though. If we have to regroup, that's fine.
So would you guys like to exit the dungeon together, or
Well,
do some of you want to press on deeper?
to be fair, DM, they get their own fair share even if I'm not there. So
Yeah,
if I
they
leave,
were
would
agreeing to
we?
it.
Yeah.
Just maybe
Well,
he won't get a fair share.
yeah, it's fine. I only got like a dagger.
Yeah,
Maybe if I get
exactly.
the
I gifted
scimitar,
you a
maybe it's a bit better, but that's fair.
I gifted you a dagger.
Yeah. Ah, it's fine.
That guy's about
Doing
2
something useful.
silvers. Not a bad first run, I
Right?
suppose, or returning run. Let's see. So
Well, goodbye, friends.
have a good night. Thank you for
Goodbye,
playing for
Ali.
as long as you did.
Have a good evening.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
thanks for coming
problem.
through.
So the thief is gonna head out as soon as you guys look to the north and south, exploring those areas. He's like, all right, I've gone down enough. Let's head out. or he's gonna head out at least. But if you guys want to keep going, you may. If you do keep going though, it's just gonna be the two of you because at this point, the other party is pulling out too. Cadwell
Oh
was hired
shit.
by him, so
Oh,
if
so he figured I don't want to be around with this dwarf and this big old chump.
they will stay potentially because they were promised a fair share, but
Well, we could talk to them, right?
that is if you two can promise, because the only one who promised it was him, right? That he would ensure they would get paid a fair share. But if you
So
tell
I'd have
them
to
that
talk.
you will also ensure that they get paid a fair share working with you, then they might stay, right? Naturally.
Okay. Well,
I'll
let's have
talk
it.
to them and let them know, hey, if y'all stick around, we still guarantee that fair share of whatever we pull out.
All right, then yeah,
Yeah.
they will stay.
What's really important is that we get some coin here.
Yeah.
I can keep going for a little bit.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
keep going for a bit too. So we can
All right.
call it.
Let me
Take
know
a
when you
quick
guys
break.
can't keep going. Then that's the point where you guys will pull out of the dungeon and make your way home.
Yeah.
But
I'm into this. So far, I'm into this. I think this is going pretty fun.
all
So,
right. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Take a small break.
yeah, sounds good. I will be right back.
All right, let's Leroy Jenkins it. Run headlong into the darkness.
Hello. It's been about 5 minutes now, so let us resume.
All right.
Your party left off standing at the intersection between the corridor north and south. To the south you saw a stair, and to the north you saw nothing. But to the north, the corridor would continue to the east, and to the south, the stair would continue to the east.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, that took a bit longer.
No worries. Which way would you like to continue exploring? North or south?
Hmm. South brings us downwards to the second level. But that would also kind of set us up to getting ambushed, right?
Indeed. Potentially.
Hmm.
So we're standing
There was
here at this intersection.
yeah.
I can go
We
north,
witnessed.
or I can go south.
Well, we already witnessed a monster on the first level, but that was the other way. And the dwarves just came from that way. Up, supposedly from the stairs. And if they did that, if they already went down that way, I assume they would already have gone and seen a couple other things, perhaps. I reckon we go down the stairs.
Yeah.
I reckon we go a bit deeper. We go where the dwarves just came from.
Your party is now beginning to descend the stairs then. On the stairs, there's a, let's see. It's a container here. Appears to be... Let's see. Oh. There's a small sack here.
Small sack.
Yes.
So it's just like a little pouch with a drawstring kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh, I might as well see what's inside.
You want
First,
to
like
open
feel
it?
it. Well,
Okay.
first, like pick it up, see how it feels, the sounds it makes. What happens? What happens when I pick it up?
Hmm. Uh, when you pick up the small sack, see what it feels like, the contents. Uh, it feels like something rough and hard in there. Rough as in scratchy, like prickly and solid. The sack can carry maybe up to 10 pounds of gear. It's a small sack versus a normal size sack.
Okay. Does it make any kind of sound when I pick it up?
It was pretty heavy.
Ooh. All right. Well, I open it up. What's inside?
There's wood in there.
Wood?
Yes.
What kind of wood? What's like the? What are we looking at?
It looks like firewood.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Wood.
But it looks like very valuable firewood.
Ooh. Do we have anywhere we can stat? Like, can we hold on to it? Can anybody hold on to the wood for us? Like anybody in any of the mercenaries or hired hands?
Uh, you can wear it on your person if you want. It's got a string. But the torchbearer could carry it, but she's already carrying a lot of gear, so one of the other guys could carry it.
Hmm. What about you, Wardo? Do you wanna hold on
Yeah,
to this
I mean,
wood?
I can hold on to it.
Okay. So I pass the sack over to Wardo.
All right. Oh, note that you have claimed this treasure. Got a small sack with a valuable looking wood. It's 10 pounds, and you don't know how much it's worth though.
Hmm. We just know it's wood.
Mhm. It looks valuable though. It looks very like beautiful, nicely polished wood.
Ooh, that could sell. That could sell. Or we could use it. Who knows?
You
Whatever
could
comes
burn it,
first.
you could sell it, but it looks like very glossy pieces of log and firewood. As if firewood
Alright.
here was made of, or it was covered in honey, right? It looks that like sappy and shiny, waxy.
Just looking really good. Yeah,
Alright.
that looks like good wood.
Beautiful, heavy wood. Weighs 10 pounds filled in a sack, a small sack.
Alright. Okay. Well, I continue moving with the party forwards.
Okay. Descending deeper on the ground. This next area is an intersection, 10-foot intersection. You can continue east or south from here. Let's
What can
see.
we see with the torch?
With the torch, you can see to the south. Well, first, in this first intersection, we'll see what we see here. The dice will tell us. There's nothing. Um, to the south, we might have some company. And to the
Hmm.
east, you see a container.
Another container.
Indeed, but south is most concerning at the moment.
Hmm.
Can we see what's coming from the south?
Yeah, to the south of you, there's something already there as you descend the stairs. It does not immediately attack. Let me see its reaction to your party, or if either side is surprised. But there's indeed a monster to the south. Alright, roll of 20. You got an 11. The monster's reaction is positive. As soon as you saw it, it begins to scamper off further southward. But whatever it was on the ceiling. It had a long tail before it disappeared.
Hmm.
There's there's also like to the south in the middle of the floor. It's like a bunch of rocks there and grass.
Grass.
Yeah, a pile of rocks and grass.
Hmm. Is there anything particular about the rocks, or is it just like same material as the walls?
Um, it looks like they're pulled out of the walls. Rocks and
Hmm.
grass, dry grass. So cavernous rock, pile of pile of cavernous rubble there. Looks out of
Oh,
place, right?
okay.
Just as if a creature piled it.
Hmm. Can I observe the rocks, see if I can lend any expertise?
Yeah, what would you like to figure out? If it's trapped, if there's a construction trick, or if there's a secret entry. Those are three things you can try to detect. You can detect anything you want, but those are the main three things you might detect in a dungeon. What would you like to
Okay.
detect or know about it if there's a certain thing?
Well, what I would like to see if it's like a special type of rock, like if there's any kind of special characteristic that's valuable.
Okay, you're just looking at the rocks, trying
Yeah,
to
there's some
detect.
different rocks.
Sure, try to detect value in the rocks, I suppose.
Hmm.
I would call this detect traps will be mechanisms. Construction tricks will be like features and stuff. This will, and it's not entrance. It's not a door. I guess the closest thing would be construction. So
Hmm.
you have a 2 in 6 chance to identify if there's a hidden property about it that you did not observe beforehand. Because right now it just looks
It just
like
looks like
the
a
rest of the
palette.
cavern.
Okay.
All right. The longer you look at it, the more certain you feel that it's cavernous wall, or maybe you might figure something else about it. But in the meantime, this will take a turn to do. So, um, to observe it for a turn, while you're doing that, the other character can take a different action. The other characters can take different actions. They can either help you observe or do something else, stand guard, search for other things. So in the meantime, as you're observing for um, construction tricks, Wardale, what would you like to do for the next turn?
Um, I kind of want to look around that bend to the south and see if I can notice anything else. Kind of like take a
There's
better
a
look.
oh yeah, there's a container to the east, not south. South is the pile of rubble.
Okay.
The way to the
Oh,
east has what you're looking for.
yeah.
That container. Yeah, there's a container there. It appears to be the type of container appears to be a uh looks like it's like just the floor has been pulled apart there. That's it. And inside there's like a niche or a floor niche. So you see stone blocks have moved to the side, right? Have been pulled out, and now there's like a nice smooth area there. You can't see what's inside because it's a little too dark. If you split off, you can go check it out.
No, I want to say relatively close.
It's only about 10 feet away from the rest of the party. Would you like to take the risk?
Yeah, I'll go look at it.
Alright. Would you want to invite anyone to join you? There's 4 other NPCs that are about to just observe or maybe even join you.
I'll ask a couple of the other guys to come with me to take a look.
Okay, Cadwell and Farmir will go with you while Reyna and Nargax stay with actually Reyna will go with you because she has a torch, and Caldwell as well. Farmir and Nargax will stay with the main party, and they're gonna help observe with the dwarf. The dwarf says he's going to observe for construction tricks in the rocks. They will do the same thing, increasing his chances to find something. Each human has a 1 in 6 chance to observe for it, and the dwarf has a 2 in 6 to identify anything other than the fact that it's just a pile of rubble. That was for the humans. There's for the dwarf. Alright. And then as for I'll tell you the results at the end of the turn. Before the turn ends, while the turn is going on, a party splits and takes a look at the container to the east. There's a floor niche here. It's open. Looks like someone dug through it already. But there's still some stuff in here if you're interested. Before you can begin searching it, let me check what's to the north of you. Alright, there's nothing to the north. And let me check what's to the east of you. I think that's just a wall. Okay. North or east of the north intersection is also clear. So those areas are safe. But this area, you found a container, a floor niche, and there's some stuff in there. Fortunately. Let's see what we got cooking in our little floor niche. Alright then. Appears that inside of it, some percentile dice. Dice are saying that there is an old set of armor in there, beneath which or surrounded among, it is surrounded among a great deal of treasure. If you want it, you can start to figure out a way to carry it though. You need a bag. There's no bag here. There's a set of old armor if you're interested. And inside the armor there's skeletal remains. And treasure includes many copper pieces. About, let's see, 1 D12. So far you're observing there's roughly 400 coppers in there.
400, holy shit. God
About 4
damn.
pounds of copper scattered is the current observation besides the armor. You also see that there's some, and it's old rusty armor. It has no use to you, by the way. It's like a rusted plate cuirass. It offers no protection anymore. It's too far gone. It's more of just decoration now, it looks like. But yes, again, 400 coppers and an additional, let's see,
At this point, I'll call over to Grinlod and be like, "Hey, you should come here for a minute. We need to talk."
there's an additional 6,000 coppers beneath the remains. So scattered around the remains there's about 400, and beneath the skeletal remains there's 6,000 coppers, which
Holy
is
shit.
about um
That's 600 copper or 600 silver pieces, isn't it?
yes.
That's a fucking that's a big score.
Okay, and finally there is let's see, still observing for a whole turn. There, that is it. Just an old skeletal remain of a knight in rusted helmet and plate, just bathing in a pool of copper pieces.
Yeah, so like roughly 6,400 copper pieces.
Indeed,
What
indeed.
what
But
do
you're not
I
there. Only
yeah,
Grinload and the rest, the other
yeah.
guys are here. They're like, here it is, the treasure we were promised. Shall we get
Oh yeah,
pecking?
I gotta divvy this. Well, we'll have to see here in a
This
moment.
is Farmir and Bena. Farmir's looking at you. He's like getting ready to get down in there and start digging up the treasure. Bena is unloading your pack, dumping out the food and the torches, and getting ready to fill her pack with treasure instead.
Oh my god. Eager.
What do you
Hey,
think, Grinlo?
Grinlod,
Or what do you
come
think,
over
Gordo?
here.
You're the one with him. Do you want to start looting too, or something else?
Oh, I want to get Grinlod's attention, but I would probably take the torches out of my pack to, you know,
We can
start
buy more
replacing.
torches
I can
after
buy more
this.
torches.
So you want to take the torches out of your pack too and begin to you had
Yeah,
a sack, so it only carries 20 pounds of the
yeah.
treasure, And among the treasure again, there's a total of let's see, 100 pieces is 1 pound. So let's see, 6,000 divided by 100 is 60, I think.
It's like 64 pounds of copper
Yeah,
there.
64 pounds. So she can put 60 pounds in her pack if she dumps it completely. And you could put up to 20 pounds. So you can divide it equally. Maybe she can carry 50 pounds and you carry so that she has some extra space for food still. And then you can carry the additional or the extra, 14 pounds or whatever of treasure that's in there. Does that sound good, Ordell, or do you
That
want to
sounds
carry more?
great.
Okay. So do you want to go down there first, or how do you guys want to get down into the niche? It's a large 3 foot by 3 foot floor niche, right?
Um,
It's a 3 foot drop into it. You have to like kind of climb down into the floor niche.
probably have a couple of the guys go down there to that came with us and help load up and then hand it up so that way we're still up here and we can kind of pull them back up out of it.
Okay. So who's gonna stay up here? Who's gonna go down?
Do you ever come over to my summons there, Grinlod?
I still don't know what I'm looking at when it comes to the pile
Do
of
you wanna
rocks.
wait for them to finish what they're doing before you take action here?
Yep.
Okay. That way you can further discuss it. Grinlod, to the south, as you are observing for um, construction tricks in the rocks, nothing unfortunately was observed there. But
Okay.
you can, after some time, you can realize that it appears to be some kind of nest. You can see there's some meat in there. You also see that there's even treasure in there. You see like pieces of silver, some coppers, but more importantly, you see eggs.
Eggs. What do the eggs look like?
There are these large eggs in there. You don't. Yeah, they're the roundish, whitish, yellowish eggs.
So they look gross.
They look
Do they
like
look
they're
like?
still
Do they
living.
look like? Oh.
They're
Do they
like
look like they're
reptile
from an
eggs.
in? Oh. After that little thing on the roof there, I'm a little nervous from that.
Maybe he
Yeah.
went to get his friends. Who knows? But you're at its nest, it looks like, or it could be its nest,
Yeah.
or maybe it was at something else's nest, right? Stealing,
Yeah. Well,
about to steal egg.
it could have been something else that nest, something of another. But
But it is a nest
I
nonetheless.
haven't touched it. I'm just looking at it, right?
You're 10 feet away from it, or 5 feet away from it, observing carefully.
And I know nothing about these eggs. I have no previous experience seeing these
You've
things
never
before.
seen eggs this big before. They're about the size of a Gatorade bottle,
Oh my god. All right. Well,
like
I
dinosaur
look.
eggs.
Well, I look back at who's with me. The two other guys that aren't the leader or the girl, or is Codwell with me?
Uh, it's Caldwell, their leader, and it's also Nargax. Bena went to provide torchlight with Famir,
Yeah.
on the other party.
Okay. Well, I look up. I look around at Codwell and what was his other name?
The other guy was Nargax.
Nargax. So I look at Nargax and Codwell and I say, well, I've never seen eggs like this before, and if this is what's laying ahead, I'm not too sure. And when will I hear? Because Wardell's calling it to me at some point.
hmm
So I look at them and I'm just like, I don't know about this one.
Right. The other they kind of nod. Maybe we can go back to this. Nargax
Maybe.
rubs his dark eyes and says, "I will provide a small offering." And he pulls out from his little peg, little not peg, but from his belt, a wheel of cheese, and sets it in the nest. Something he brought
Wait,
along based on his sheet.
that's all right. I go, didn't know you had cheese on you, but
Mm.
hopefully that keeps him appeased.
It's. I feel like we scared the mother away or something, but these little ones will probably need something to eat.
You're a good soul.
Right.
That was
So
Nargax that did that?
yeah, Nargax. He's
Yeah,
got
I
dark
like
eyes.
try.
He's
I
a
reach.
crossman.
How tall is he compared to me?
Nargax is an average man. He's about 5'6", 5'7". Your
Okay, can I
character is a
reach up?
dwarf. You're about 5 foot. You
Okay,
can,
I look up at him. I like reach up. I like
or if you're a tall
pat
dwarf,
it.
you're 5 foot. If you're an average dwarf, you're 4'7". And
Okay, I want to be like an average dwarf to make it a bit more comical.
mhm.
I reach up to his shoulder. I pat him on the shoulder like you're a good kid.
Appreciates you and says that he's not a kid though. I'm no mere child. I'm a fully grown man.
I and I am a fully grown dwarf.
But yes, we must feed the children. Eggs are not monsters. Not yet, at least.
I
I heard from a
I
wise
hear
man
ya.
once while you guys are walking back to the rest of the party. It's not the fault of evil people. It's the fault of their evil parents. You know, someone wise told me that. Raise them well when they grow up, and you have better people or monsters, I suppose.
I I suppose like that we aren't too different.
And then the rest of the party is off to the east, about to dig up some treasure. You guys walk over to them and see this 3 foot by 3 foot niche in the floor with bricks all over the place that have been pulled out of the floor to reveal this current situation. Wooden planks that are very thin have broken and fell into the niche. Looks like this was some kind of small niche with broken planks. And at the bottom of it, there's a skeletal remain with a broken cuirass full of holes and a rusty helmet too. And then pile of copper pieces, small pile surrounding the remains, large pile directly beneath the remains.
So we're gonna have to move the remains. Okay. Well, I speak to Wardell. Hey, what is this?
This is what I was yelling at you about. Let's
Aye.
get
Who needs goblin heads when you got treasure right here?
let's let's grab what we can, and I say we head back to town and kind of divvy it up.
Aye, and I'm looking around. I see torches and food all littered about. Oh, the food. Well, I mean, I suppose we can always buy some more.
Bana looks
And
up at you and
our
says, I'll take what we can get after we loot this treasure, but let's get the treasure first.
okay. Let me think here. Well, I kind of want to get I want to get that other guy. I don't want to get Bana down in there just yet. I want that other guy to go in there and move the skeletal remains. Hey, you
Who
could
are you
move that out?
asking?
I'm asking him to move the armor and, gain access to the larger cache.
Right, but which of the men are you asking?
The one that was there with Bane, I forget his name.
Oh, that would be Farmir.
Faramir, yeah. So I asked Faramir,
He
hey, you
shakes his
think you
head.
could? No? He doesn't want to. Okay,
He sees that skeletal remain is getting second thoughts or cold feet about it.
alright, I look
I'll
up
What
at
if
him.
it comes to life?
I'll jump down in there and start like filling my pack up and handing it up and asking for the other one.
Ooh, Wardell takes initiative.
As soon as you step down in there, you feel the floor beneath your feet depress a little bit.
Press.
Would you like to take another step? You've stepped on
Um,
some type of large pressure plate down here. Now you can see that there are many holes in the floor with rusty pointed blades pointing right at you. It looks like as soon as you move your weight, they're about to spring forth. They're all over the floor.
I call back up to Grinlot. I'm like, I'm gonna jump. Grab me.
I got you.
And I
Okay.
jump back up.
As soon as you
I grab
jump,
module.
the traps go off. Let's see if you can dodge them. There's a 1 in 2 chance that they trigger, and then of course, if they do trigger, you have a saving throw versus traps. Alright, they did not trigger fortunately. Even though you stepped on it, it's an old rusty trap, so you can hear it rattling, but it didn't go off fortunately. You just jump, the perch plate rises again, and your boy, or your man, or the dwarf, Grenload, grabs you, and the other ones help grab at you too, because he's already wearing well quite a bit of gear, and you need about 2 men to grab you effectively, pull you out of there. All right, you're free of the trap now. Cadwell and Grenlode pulled you out of there, and you did not die like that man down there with the
Yeah, you're
skeletal.
on 1 hit point. I just forgot you're on one.
He
That
just
would have
risked
been
his
that
life.
would have been the worst. That would have been the worst.
I mean, I don't think anyone could survive that trap, so he might have been the best call, right? Even if you had 8 hit points, you probably wouldn't survive that trap. Bunch of
It's
spears shooting up
fast.
into you.
I
Interesting.
found.
So is there any possible way to get this loot?
All right, here's what we do. You lower me down by my feet, load it
Oh.
into the bag
Ah.
without touching the floor.
Is it a one-time trigger?
It looks like the floor went back up,
Oh.
right? Like as soon as he got off, it let off the weight. The floor was no longer depressed, right? It
Okay.
reset.
Fuck, those goblins are crafty. All right. I like what I Wardell. I like your ideas. Whether we like it or not, this
Hold
is
him by his
pretty
feet
good.
as he grabs treasure. You might not be able to grab all the treasure with this method, but you should be able to grab a good chunk of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to fill as much out of my pack or my bag and
Well, like,
the
well, here's
pack
what.
that
So
got
I
dumped
would
out.
say the treasure, you can go around the trap easy, right? You can grab all the treasure around that you can reach if half your body is being held 3 foot above the trap, because the trap is 3 foot by 3 foot, and it goes 3 feet deep as well, right? So in that case, if you're going to do that method, you can get maybe all the surrounding treasure, but the treasure at the center, the good stuff, where the skeletal remain is and the hoard of copper is, you can only reach that if you were to be inside the trap. So unless
Well,
you,
let's see how much we get this way, and then we'll have to figure out something else.
Yeah, let's try to get this, and then we'll have to get crafty in a moment.
right now it's the end of turn 2, because turn 1 or 2 was exploration. Turn 2 to 3 is was the past turn where you were searching for construction tricks and he was searching this area for treasure, and now we're on turn 3 to 4. But before that, every even turn is actually a wandering monster check. So at turn 2 to 3, I had to check for if anything came by or not, and nope, we are safe still, fortunately.
Yes.
So no
Good.
horde approaches or to kill you. Let's see.
That's definitely a
We
win.
are in
That's a
turn
win.
3 to 4 right now. So we've been in here for 30 to 40 minutes. And with this next turn, you guys are just pulling treasure out from there using the method that was described by Wardell, his strategy. So Wardell, it's not just you and Grenlow doing this. The others begin to help too. The other retainers. Reyna provides torchlight as Cadwell holds Farmir, and Nargax keeps watch for monsters. Alright. So this
I
means
take
you have
my
2 people.
shield and start trying to scoop what I can towards me to make
Very
it
well.
easier to grab.
Because the two of you work together to get the treasure out of there, it takes you a little less time than it would usually take. So you work at 50% or 2 times the speed, since you and him do it together with whatever tools you've got to your disposal.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
shields to scoop, hands to grab, whatever it might be. You managed to get the surrounding treasure, which is only 400 copper pieces, if you remember. That was the surrounding ones, the easy to grab. So that's 4 pounds of copper. Not a lot, but
It's a start.
compared to the rest, but it's a good start. That's about 40 silvers. If you want to figure out a method to get the juicy treasure, though, you'll have to think a little harder. All right, think a little, and work a little harder to get that one.
Think a little, work a little. Okay.
Indeed.
Well,
Huh.
we need to find a
Does-
way. Almost. Wait. Okay. So, how were the spears like kind of coming out of the trap? Are they coming out of the sides or from underneath?
They came out from beneath.
The same direction that the pressure plate was?
Uh, they came out from the pressure plate. So like, imagine like
Oh,
when the
like
pressure
it's like
plate,
like there's
yeah,
like a bunch of holes in it,
yeah,
and when it goes down, it's gonna go down on top of the spears.
exactly.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So can we Indiana Jones it? And I take the bag of gold and I put it on the pressure plate to see if it would activate.
Uh,
Or can we just like start like
you
throwing
want to put a
things on
weight
it?
on there to just trigger the trap,
Yeah.
and then you can just climb down there while it's triggered.
Yep.
I think you just solved the puzzle. All right. So you want to drop? It's you think you might need something heavier actually. The bag of coins you
That
just threw down
wood.
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
the
got
wood.
wood.
It's about
We
10
got wood.
pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
That 10
wood. We
pounds
got all the
wood.
torches, like all the stuff that like Raina dumped out, the food and the torches,
Okay.
and whatever other supplies she had.
All right. So you drop it all the supplies down there. Drop all those torches and the food in there, and the wood, and as soon as it all hits the side of the pressure plate, uh, that's when as soon as it's tapped, that's when the pressure plate goes down, and the spears poke out, right? So pressure plate goes down maybe a few inches, and the spears shoot out maybe a foot tall, right? Or a foot and a half tall, so it could definitely tear off a leg, right? Or if you're leaning, it could poke into your gut, or if you're sitting or laying down there. Naturally, if it takes off a leg, then you will fall over and fall into another spike. There's about a total of 9 spikes in there, evenly spaced in a 3 foot by 3 foot area, right? You can imagine how that might look.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, as soon as they're all triggered, you got the weight down there, keeping the trap from resetting. It looks like you just drop it on one side, and that one side on the pressure plate is leaning, you know, off to the west. There's a opposite weight there, causing it to be triggered. And then with that, you can jump down and start grabbing your stuff.
Are we
So
risking like getting poked if we jump down, or can we jump down like
climb